Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Cult Watch. I hope you're doing well. I'm a little sleepy today, so we're going to be a little lower energy than normal, but we should have an interesting time nonetheless. I hope you're doing well. Probably Lannister, thank you for subscribing for 7 months, says soon. Writer for Life 724, thanks for subscribing for 8 months, says, hey all, I'm finally feeling much better. How's everyone? I'm glad to hear that. I'm good. Probably a Lannister with 25 bits, says, Hannah, I ordered pineapple on my pizza last night instead of pepperoni by accident and had a that vegan teacher moment. What the fuck is this? Dude spanking down dudes with 20 bits says, I got my shot yesterday, so yay, but I'm sick because of the vaccine. Have a bad cough and feeling hot. Yeah, that'll be like that for a day or so, but you'll be okay. Thanks for getting the vaccine. 0M80 with 45 bits says, finish Mass Effect 1 and starting Mass Effect 2. Fighting through a quarantine zone and Morden's recruitment hits different now. Worst part, not a mask in sight. Citosaurus with 500 bits says, woo, Cult Watch. Also just wanted to say in response to your ADHD diagnosis, congrats on getting that figured out. I was lucky in that I saw a crazy psychiatrist who diagnosed me like 30 minutes in the door after taking a quiz on her laptop. Apparently, she did that to everyone, but for me, it was actually true. Only been on meds for 2 years and things have been so much better as a result. Never realized all the stuff that was going on was partially attributed to ADHD. Well, I'm glad that you're doing better. Lily Love Stuff, thanks for subscribing for 10 months. Says 10-month subscription, and it's a cult day. Hell yeah, cults are my jam. So, I'm not the most versed on cults, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be a learning experience for all of us. I know the basics and stuff like that, but I just thought it'd be fun every once in a while. Fun is a strong word, considering the topic at hand. Interesting to look at cults, both former and current, and sort of the mentality of how people get into them, why people stay in them, sort of the belief systems overall. Just kind of an interesting topic. So yeah, I don't really have a lot to say other than that. Might as well just start it out. I guess I thought it'd be interesting to look at the Heaven's Gate initiation video. So for those who don't know, Heaven's Gate was a cult back in the day. There's a documentary on them on HBO that's pretty interesting. But basically, this guy ended up telling all the followers that there was a comet coming, which was a real comet. Gosh, was it the Hale-Bopp comet or something like that? And claimed that there was a spaceship just behind the comet, and that it was coming to take them away into space. And in order to go into space, they all had to kill themselves. So they did. They, Hale-Bopp comet, thank you. So they did. They committed mass suicide and not great stuff. So this is the initiation video to the cult. Let's take a look.
Classroom, or in old language, a couple thousand years ago, disciples. Those who are trying to prepare themselves for entry into the evolutionary level above human, synonymous with the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. We're going to talk to you about the most urgent thing that is on our mind, and what we suspect is the most urgent thing on the minds of those who will connect with us. We'll title this tape Planet Earth,
Ooh, off the
about
cuff.
to be recycled.
Okay, that's not a bad title, considering he just seemed to make it up off the cup. Planet Earth recycled. Okay, that's eco-friendly, I guess. Is that eco-friendly? You're just destroying the entire environment, so I guess I don't know. Fast Lunacy says, we're really primed for cults in the almost aftermath of such destabilizing events like COVID, lockdown, social unrest. It's good to be educated about this stuff, yeah.
Your only chance to evacuate is to leave with us. Planet Earth.
Was this tape aired anywhere? I don't think so. I think this was shown to new members for like an explainer on what's going on without him having to explain every time.
About to be recycled.
It's possible that he tries to undercut your part of your brain that's going to be like, well, this is ridiculous. You know, you can't do that. And he says like, well, I'm not saying this. I'm just trying to say this. And he tries to couch the belief of the end of the world stuff and couch it in something a little more understandable for people. It's still ridiculous, but like the idea of like, oh, well, civilizations come to an end, and you can recognize that, right? Because you're a logical person, which is true. Civilizations do come to an end. So someone who's susceptible for this type of messaging might go, well, you're not just saying crazy things, you're actually referencing the fact that civilizations do come to an end, yada, 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 whatever. And even though that part is, I guess, kind of true in the sense that civilizations do come to an end, him predicting it in this particular case ended up being wrong. So, interesting. 74 Quinn 74 says, what are we watching? Just jumped in. This is a initiation tape for the Heaven's Gate cult.
Now, the reason this is such an interesting time is not only because we're on the threshold of the end of this civilization, because it's about to be recycled, but because of where that finds us, where that finds you, where that finds those who would judge us, how we would speak of them, and how they would speak of us. Now you say, you keep saying us. Who do you think you are? Well, I, in all honesty, must acknowledge my father. My father is not a human father. My father is a member of the evolutionary level above human, the kingdom of God.
Oh, good. He's got an alien dad. Ooh, he's rainbow in that frame. You know what? I'm sold. He is part alien. Look at that skin tone. Lily Love Stuff says the thing with this video is that it didn't convert anyone. The people who saw this had all been in the group, what they actually called themselves for 20 years at that point. Yeah. Still, if you watch the documentary on HBO about it, you can see that the cult didn't start with this. It sort of progressed into it over decades, and it really ramped up after this individual's wife died, who was the other leader of the cult, and she was actually, I think, above him in the cult for most of it, and then she passed away, and he really started to ramp up the sort of, like, really out there end times rhetoric. So even though people in the cult were seeing this, some of the information he was telling them may have been new information to them, or at least framed in a more straightforward way than he had previously. One Speedy Yoshi says, I was watching more Family Guy again because I like to torture myself, and they keep calling Quagmire's parent his dad, and Brian is the only one who calls him Quagmire's mom, which Ida be his mom or dad. I'm so confused. It'd be his mom, because Quagmire's dad is a trans woman.
The kingdom of heaven.
You know what I mean. I know I was for clarification saying that, but it is Quagmire's mom.
My father gave me, long before this civilization, gave me birth into that kingdom level above human, that kingdom of heaven, that kingdom of God. Now you can say, well, I can't believe that. Well, it's up to you whether you believe that or not. That's not important to me, even though I wish that you could believe it for your sake. For those who do believe it, stand a possibility of a future.
She wasn't his wife, their relationship was platonic because he was gay. Gotcha.
Beyond this recycling time. Now you say, well, according to religious literature, I thought there was someone else that was going to come and be our Savior here at these end days. That was going to be Christ's return. Well, the name Christ might be a little confusing, or the name Jesus, because the name Jesus, of course, was the name given to the body that mind that was indeed from the kingdom of heaven came, and that mind was here 2,000 years ago, and that mind came for the express purpose of teaching humans how they could be saved, how they would not be plowed under at the end of the age. Well,
see, I find this interesting too. He can't outright, at least strategically, you wouldn't want to, if you were doing a cult thing like this, outright say that, like, Jesus is complete bullshit, right? You wouldn't want to do that because such a huge part of the American population, and this cult operated in the United States, is Christian. So you're probably recruiting from groups of people who have already, at least in some way, absorbed and integrated the beliefs of Christianity into them in some way, whether they're Christian or whether they're sort of just culturally Christian. So he can't outright say, no, the Jesus thing is completely untrue, because that'll shut people down from his cult stuff, because people are very defensive about the beliefs they already have. So he has to try and almost integrate that belief system into this new cult belief system. So he has to say, well, that was the mind they called Jesus, and he was from heaven, but your interpretation is a little off, and that's how it plays into this. It's interesting to me that he has to do that, and I wonder if he's consciously doing that as a strategy, or if he is unconsciously doing it somehow, recognizing that it's, like, strategically advantageous in order to convince people to come join the cult. One Speedy Yoshi says, why are we watching a peeled carrot talk about saviors? Little green person, thanks for gifting a sub to Wagroads.
Well, we're at the end of the age. So the one, or the mind that was in Jesus, what? That mind is in me? You'll have to decide that for yourself. I must admit that I am here again, that I'm here saying exactly the same thing that I said then, trying to say it in today's language.
So now he's claiming to share the same mind as Jesus. Hydrate. Will do.
Trying to hope that for your sakes you can see what we have to offer you, for our Father offers you life. Not talking about human life. If planet is about to be recycled, and we see the planet as a stepping stone, planet Earth a stepping stone, that just as within a civilization evolves upward, that each segment of civilization becomes more civilized, less barbaric in some ways. It's supposed to, not that it necessarily does. Sometimes it seems to appear to be more civilized when in fact it becomes more barbaric, more quick to condemn the rest of the world, more quick to kill the rest of the world that does not think as it thinks. Well, I know what I just said. I said that I am the return of the Son of my Father. I'll tell you something that's even more remarkable.
Psych 23, thanks for following.
My Father came with me this time. Came in the early 70s, took on a human form, an adult human form.
I see why God, if he came to Earth in the 70s, would decide it's time for the end of the world. He came right in at the beginning of disco. I get it.
Helped me get in an adult human form in the early 70s, and we together helped those who came with us that were also here.
Horny jail.
2,000 years ago, get in the bodies that they were wearing so that they could rid themselves of human behavior, human activity, human thinking, so that they could be ready to move into the kingdom of heaven or the evolutionary level
Kugels,
above
thanks for
human.
Following.
These that are sitting...
One Speedy Yoshi says, I came with my father. Sounds like a weird circle jerk, but who am I to judge?
Before me have been students of T and Do. T, my
father. You already warned them? Yeah, you can ban them. Or if they come back, I'll ban them. If you can't figure out how to do it.
Have been students of T and Do, are still students of T and Do, even though T returned to the heavens.
T was the other leader of the cult who died, I think, of cancer, if I remember correctly.
In 1985.
And this guy goes by Do.
And T is my heavenly Father. Gave me birth into that kingdom before this civilization began. Now, I'm not here to sell you on that, or who I am, or who these are. I'm here to offer you, as these are, an opportunity to know the truth, so that if you can connect with it at any level, then you might survive the respading or the recycling that is about to occur. We made a tape just shortly ago, and in that tape we said that there are 3 types of individuals that will survive the
There's a part 2, but I'm good. You get it. He's just sort of rambling about the fact that he's the son of God. Interesting stuff. Alright, let's look at some more recent stuff. So we looked at these people the other day. This is the Love Has Won cult, who recently got in a bunch of trouble because they mummified their leader who had died secretly. So, they're on YouTube, still posting regular content every single day. Let's see what they're up to. Oh, is she gonna fix her mic or no?
May 28th, 2021. Ascension happening now. I have supposedly Reggie on here as well in a little bit.
Do you think these are the same Christmas lights that they wrapped around the mummy?
about things going on, please share. Even though
Just question.
Happy Friday! Happy Friday!
The lady behind them in this mural is the ex-cult leader who died. They call her Mother God. That's an older picture of her because by the end she was looking much rougher because of all the drug use and alcohol abuse. One Speedy Yoshi says how their leader looked after they mummified her. And it's a link to something I'm not going to click because who knows? Their leader isn't dead, she's just resting. She was blue.
Good morning, nobody. Good morning to nobody. There's Mike. Yay, Mike!
Oh, it's the SpongeBob old lady? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I remember
Al was
when
the first
they
person on the
invented
YouTube stream.
chocolate.
Someone pinch me. Somebody pinch me.
Kirthan says, speaking of drugs, I got my first dose of legal weed. F you, Florida. And Mike Mack says, Hannah, have you seen Netflix Messiah? Man, humans are gullible as hell. I haven't seen that, no. Didn't she lock children in a cupboard for not listening? I know there was some locking of people in closets or something. I'm not sure about the specifics.
Hi, Devin. How's everyone
Sad
feeling
too, look at that
today?
message. Hi,
It's a
family.
weird fucking
For a
day
lot of
today.
people, groups like this are their only family. That's how they get drawn in and stay in. Logarth
Hey,
says,
Marcel.
she was actually blue. She was taking 10 times the dose of that silver
Well,
bromide that's supposed to be a
happy
cure-all.
Friday.
They wrapped her in a
Wednesday.
sleeping bag in Christmas lights. Ask a Mortician
28th.
did a video about her. Interesting.
How many days are in May? 31, I feel. Hey, Penny. So we have a couple more days till June, but you can kind of like, I feel because this month was like a 5-month, so much change and so much
It's a 5-month.
like sudden shifts of energy. And so it usually ramps up. Fuck yeah, it's getting exciting. So I can feel like it ramps up at the end of the month before we like transition into June. But the 6/6 portal should be interesting.
How did she die? Oh, probably. Her health had been degrading for quite some time, again, because of the alcohol and drug abuse. So, Speedy Yoshi says, I honestly won't understand, like, why they mummified her and wrapped her in lights. If you think she's God, wouldn't you peacefully lay her to rest in the biggest mausoleum and put lights around her or something? Not just, like, defile her corpse? I think they wanted to stay around her. Tiger White says, Z... I get it. You're bored. Sorry.
Because every year the 6/6 portal was kind of like a, wasn't as crazy as like, it just starts leading us up to the 8/8 Lionsgate. Hi, Anna. So I can like feel this like
Robert
anxiety
Morley
or
says,
something.
hello, Hannah.
Could be just
Happy
me,
weekend.
but
Happy weekend to you, too.
I haven't been on this page since last year. What have you guys been up to? How's Mother doing? Well, Pam Pam.
Don't be silly. Yeah, okay.
Mother's great. We mummified her because she died.
Don't act like you don't know.
Yeah.
We've seen some comments.
Google it.
I've seen some.
Google it! That's a kind of disrespectful answer to give about your dead god.
comments.
Yeah,
Google it and come back to us.
Google, oh my god.
See what you find, as if you already don't know.
They said
Someone has to
something
come
about
on. Mother is
Lionsgate. Are they
dead.
about to announce they're
Well, you don't
starring
like
in
the word
God's Not Dead
ascendant? Is that
4?
not good
Did Lionsgate distribute the God's Not Dead movies?
Enough for you?
That's an eclectic catalog. The Saw movies and the God's Not Dead movies.
Is that spinny? You have to use the D word.
Dead. She's dead. You mummified her.
It's canceled dead.
What does dead mean?
Because no one even dies.
Death is canceled. You heard it here first. Death is canceled. Devious Chillster says, welcome to Cribs. Here's my crypt crib, or if you would like, my Houseolium.
Thank you for the confirm. I woke up feeling I'm forgetting something. Dude, I woke up
Hello,
like
Miss
in an
Brightside
anxiety
95.
attack. It was so bizarre.
No,
And
that's
I was
not
like-
funny.
I was like, I was
I'm
like,
laughing because I go through the same thing.
I was like, I hope I literally have so much anxiety and I'm so nervous.
Yeah. I assume so. I saw you said, hi, bestie.
Like today, and she was like, that's how I feel every day.
Okay.
I was like, well, today feels weird. Feels very weird. Okay, you two. Thank God. Thank God someone else woke up in a panty. Not just me.
At least I'm not the only one.
You know what? One Speedy Yoshi says death is canceled. Spam it on his Twitter page with K-pop stans.
I feel it's probably the Schumann, you know? Mom wants to know what you did with her eyeballs. You know, I don't even know where this rumor began, but...
Probably at the point you mummified her and wrapped her in Christmas lights and left her in the house. This is so weird the way they're going about this. Like, guys, you mummified her. Are you serious? What do you mean where are the rumors coming from? And they're all laughing about it? How weird. Tucker White says, Hannah, why are we watching these two chicks run a boring-ass stream? Tucker, if you don't like what's happening, you don't have to watch the stream. It's a cult. They're in a cult. They mummified their leader. If that's not interesting to you, you don't have to watch it. Not everything's about you. Mike Mack says, where's Kratos when you need him?
Why were we
From
doing
the
that?
article.
Yeah, from that article on like every single website. Because everyone just copy and pasted. I've literally never seen
I don't...
copy and paste in mainstream media like I did for Mom's Story. Like, and then I realized
Wing the Ultimate Nug says, this is fascinating. How are they not in jail? 11 of them were arrested and I think they got out on bond. So they may be out on bond right now. I don't know if those were 2 of the 11 that got arrested. But some of the people in the cult did. Razzle Tazzle says, they got the eyeballs in a jar so she can watch over them forever. Tucker White says, I know, but I'm a masochist and I hate myself. Cool. One Speedy Yoshi says, I wouldn't be surprised if they ate portions of her. Why not? Why let it go to waste?
that
If someone was like, do you want to eat this god meat? I'd be like, you mean that's meat from God? Yes, I'm going to try god meat. Devious Chilster says, you think once you read the word wall in their house, Mother comes back and draggers her way out of the Christmas lights?
every story, but you just never notice it because I just don't do that much research on like mainstream
I was
media.
just like, what an odd rumor to start.
You mummified your cult leader! What?
We're not really into eyeballs. I'm into a lot of other things, but eyeballs really isn't one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like not my like go-to thing. Like
Citosaurus says, you should find the clips of Mother God flipping out about meatballs. It's art. Yeah, maybe at some point.
Yeah. What an odd soul. Yeah, so I feel it's the Schumann. I'll actually pull it up because it was quiet for about 3 days. We haven't had like some serious spikes in a while. So let me see where it's at. Oh my.
Golden Chain Chomp
Okay.
says, believe in yourself
Well, we're in
and
this
do
window.
anything.
I believe
It
the
was
Schumann is
specifically
shaking it like a
musical,
dirty
so-
rug all over the place. That's a really accurate description, Cheryl. So here's the Schumann. We're knee deep over here
What?
in anxiety central. So obviously Mom is pushing a shit ton of energy since the eclipse.
She's dead. She died. She's dead. She died. What cult is this? You missed the beginning. This is the Love Has Won cult.
So everybody's feeling it. What do you say?
It was so funny because I was gonna read an article about vaccines, which I'll get back to later, because I was looking forward back.
Let me guess, they're anti-vaxxers. Lily loves stuff with 20 bits, thank you.
Around. We'll circle back around, since, everyone's talking about Amy Carlson dying. It was funny because the article I was looking for, this article was the one in front of it by our friend who actually just emailed me the other day and sent a picture of this woman that looked just like Mom. But anyway, that's beside the point.
So it's eat my body and drink my blood too literally. And Lily Loves Stuff says, "How dare you, Hannah? Death was canceled, remember?" That's true. My bad. Devious Chilster says, "What do you mean, what? We're knee-deep in Shoe Man, Hannah. Mother Goddess's love is throwing out so much energy that soon Harold Peniston will be able to rise again. Keep attention."
Our friend that wrote that article about Mom in Hawaii, and he wrote a letter. Yeah, he wrote a letter to us after Mom ascended. And so I feel it's good for the...
She didn't die. She ascended. Razzle Tazzle. The more these women talk, the more confused I get. It's like gibberish.
You might want to hear this because he's talking to you guys.
Okay. Thank you, Indian.
I was actually talking to us because he's sending his condolences, but he's calling y'all out. Okay. Dear ground crew, I do often get a bit of a nudge sometimes when people pass. A few days ago, I had written something on the Love Is One situation, not knowing that Amy Carlson has allegedly passed the day prior. The actual date and details of her passing are now under scrutiny, and several Love Is One members are now facing charges. One of the main themes of my heartful writing was to ask the question, if divine beings walk among us, how do we recognize them? Do we recognize them when they behave as we expect them to behave? Are they nuts when they act out in ways we do not expect or condone? Or are they speaking the truth? For many reasons, Amy's declaration of her being Mother God ruffled many feathers. You can find so many people attacking her for her claiming to be a god, while she is seen numerous times swearing and drinking and misbehaving. Love you, Amy. Now, I don't know any details of Amy's situation, but I know this. What I know, the path of ascension can be arduous, and so much so that even the best of the best can go nuts in the process. From what I perceived from the outside, I can see why so many people were drawn to Amy. They were drawn to Amy's love, her pure love. They were willing to help her, support her, and even put up with her. She was putting up with us, okay? Let's get...
She was a violent alcoholic. What are you talking about? Sidosaurus says there are some choice excerpts from Jeff's video. Not sure if I can locate the actual clips. Oh, God.
What's going on, everybody? Jeff Holiday here, and today... that left us all barely able to breathe.
And Jeff did a whole video on this.
Surrender. I am God. I am Mother Gaia, Mother Earth.
And I will tell you,
No way. Are some of these, like, photoshopped? I feel high. I feel really high.
Same, Jeff. Same.
Get it right.
Tucker White says, of course their leader isn't dead, Hannah. She clearly paid for the Extend Your Life $4.99 option in the app. Either that, or she's riding Comet Hail Bop with Marshall Applewhite. One Speedy Yoshi says, not to take away from this, but Blue's Clues just had a Pride sing-along hosted by a drag queen. Chudwatch is gonna be fantastic. Mike Mack says, if she's God, then she can come back. If not, and she's just dead, then what's the point of the cult? I don't know. Is this a new series on the channel? It is. We're trying it out to see if it's enjoyable, if there's material.
She's putting up with us. Humans. Amy's legacy is great. Don't listen to unloving naysayers. Amy's message is love has won. So why not share that legacy with her? Let's be present for each other's love. Thank you, Amy, Mother God, for your life, for your message, for your love, for your smile, and for your presence. May your gifts continue to be given and re-given. Your love has won, and we thank you for coming to Earth. We send your loving prayers to the Love Is One group, who are now going through a challenging time. Humanity has got to learn to stop crucifying the loving among us. We have to stop crucifying the Christs among us. Why is it...
I want to find the meatball clip. She yelled at someone once because, like, they brought her meatballs instead of chicken parmesan, or she wanted chicken parmesan and she got brought meatballs, and she was, like, yelling at him, and she was, like, drunk. I'm trying to find it, just because it's very interesting, but maybe I can't find it off the top of my head.
When someone declares they are a god, the humans rush in and seek to crush that being. When someone realizes they are God, isn't that an achievement worthy of support and consideration? Why do they...
That wouldn't be an achievement, though. If you were God, you'd just be God. That's not an achievement, it's just a thing you'd be.
Normies feel so threatened by another spiritual
Normies.
remembrance and achievements? Why is it when someone declares they are God that people attack?
Because it's bullshit and people don't like cults and cult leaders who claim to be deities. Annie Kai, thank you for finding it. This is the meatball. Mother God Amy yelling at member John for getting wrong food. This was, before she died, obviously. Or ascended, whatever.
My vision was chicken parmesan. So the fucking atoms turn around on me and get me meatballs.
She is trashed.
I didn't say meatballs.
I didn't say meatballs, I said chicken parmesan. Why you give me meatballs? Meatball sounds good.
I love it.
Yeah, the fact that she's in this vertical mode is all the evidence I need she's not God. God would know to hold the phone like this. Not like this, like this.
Meatballs. But I didn't fucking say that!
Holy shit, FF.
Chicken parmesan! I get fucked up every fucking moment by you fucking motherfucking whores.
You're definitely fucked up. I don't think it's their fault. Devious Chilster says, oh boy, we get to see what happened to Cicero before Mother got mummified and he got the jester's outfit. This hidden lore is great. Mike Mack says she is the goddess of all Karen.
My atoms. I just need a tequila. It takes
Sounds like she needs more tequila.
5 rounds of whores to get me a tequila.
The world would honestly make way more sense if this was God, wouldn't it? If God was just a drunk Karen begging for chicken parmesan at 3 in the morning.
Wait, are you fucking kidding me? You know what? You can take your half-ass God and shove it up your fucking ass! I'm gonna take another tequila shot? I'll fucking do that shit. Bitch! Where's my tequila shot?
Jesus Christ. How did people follow this lady? Sky Comet Fallen said she's not a real goddess. Real goddesses, we can hold our liquor. And Lily Love Stuff says, did she say 5 more cores or whores? She said whores.
What is?
Is this a whole channel that just like debunks Love Has Won stuff? Beautiful. This will go in the... This will go in... Oh, not reading list, sorry. That'll go in the bookmark for cults. Wunderbar.
How will we treat God's other messengers? Is
like Spider-Man's goggles, God films in vertical to cut out the overwhelming information.
there something we can learn here? I believe so. Amy Carlson, one of the many special ascension light workers who touches many hearts, has left her body, but she's still with us. This I know. And now humans have another angel who continues to work on our behalf. For the ascension of Mother Earth and humanity, with love, we are all victorious.
Nice. What he really meant to call you was muggles. That's my new word. Thank you, Mike, for that word.
Holly was like, oh my god, please give me this link. I got you, girl. I'm coming.
And
Logarth says, I think it'd go something like this. Rise, Lord Zuthulu. We pledge ourselves to serve you, Zuthulu. Zuthulu wants more brownies now. Yeah, pretty close. Zathura says, so Mother was an alcoholic who believed she was God? Yes.
And what's brilliant about, all of
And a drug addict.
that was, first I wanted to say something about the word misbehaving, because
Angel Lost in Space, thanks for subscribing for 4 months and kicking off the hype train.
Misbehaving to whom?
The trolls.
The system.
The haters.
The system. The illusion. That's the illusion sees Mom and says she's misbehaving. Yes, because she's not following your ego mind-made rules.
I have the ego mind. She called people whores because they didn't get her chicken parmesan. If someone brought me meatballs, I'd be like, oh, thanks for the meatballs. Not call them a whore. MW1642, thanks for 100 bits. We're at 56% of the level 1 with 4 minutes left.
Who's misbehaving is fucking humanity.
It can be both. It can be both. Those aren't mutually exclusive. Mike Max says, woke people are so dumb and annoying. I mean, it depends on what you mean by woke. If you're using it in the anti-SJW way, no. If you're using it in the woo-woo spiritual way, kinda. Baha, thank you for subscribing with Prime, says, hey, love you, Hannah. I love you too, Baha. Vast Lunacy, thank you for gifting 10 Tier 1 subs to the community. Very generous of you. Hoi Polloi with 100 bits says, for real though, when I want chicken parm, I want chicken parm. Fine, you can have chicken parm. But don't yell at people and call them whores if they get you the wrong thing.
Humanity is the biggest misbehaving brats of all time. So that was an interesting part of the article. And the other part that I find funny and that he touched on was, or it's a he, right?
Yeah, it's a he.
Is that, everybody, especially the Bible thumpers, are all like, the real father is going to come back and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you guys would do the exact same thing. First off, Mom definitely got way more heat because she's a woman. But even if she wasn't, so even if this was a man saying the same thing, I have a feeling that you guys would have still crucified him.
Because they're lying about being a divine being. People don't like that. Bumble Homestead, thanks for gifting a sub, and eTune2350, thanks for 100 bits.
For saying he's God. So, although Mom definitely got way more heat because she's a woman,
I don't know if I don't have any data on gender-based discrimination in the cult field, the cult, whatever you want to call it, so I couldn't really speak on that. I have no idea.
The trolls, humanity would have still...
Keyboard Turner Overdrive says, is a divine being by my colloidal silver. Hey, maybe I want to be blue, like a smurf, okay? 70% to level 4.
Done the same thing.
Oh, Devious Chilster says, haha, they have no right to say the words Bible thumper if they think they do. Can we call them crypt keepers? Or crypt creepers, rather. Also, are they literally in opposition in the Also, are they literally oppression Olympics in godhood? Is this the feminism Sargon fears? Bymancer, thanks for subscribing for 13 months, and Hoi Polloi, thanks for 100 bits. H. Baird says, speaking of this person being a god would make more sense. Are you familiar with the Apocrypha of John? It's one of the Gnostic texts, which basically says that God is actually a demon and that Jesus is a higher being sent to rescue humans. I actually didn't know that. That's interesting. We're at 69% to level 5. Oh, and I think we just did it. One Speedy Yoshi says, can we make a cult about Lupine and Cassia? Absolutely. We already have one in this house. Kirthan, thanks for gifting 5 subs to the community, bringing us to level 5. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
To anybody claiming to be God. So humanity wants a savior.
That's not bad. We were doing bad this month in sub goal. The goal, like it was the last couple months, was 300. We only made to 150, but that's not too bad. We still got to half the sub goal. That's pretty good. Because the sub goal only counts new subs, not re-ups. So that's still good. I just need to reduce the thing for next month because I think we've reached peak saturation on my core audience for subs, at least for now. But still, pretty good stuff. Thank you.
But anybody claiming to be...
That's all just statistic stuff, though, on my channel, and you guys don't give a shit about that. You like the jokes. I get it. It's just a mental note for me.
In God consciousness, they crucify. So what exactly are you waiting for? I'm confused. Who exactly are you waiting for? Because if you can't recognize whether you actually believed Mom was God or not, which she is.
She's not. She's not, though. She died, and then you wrapped her in Christmas lights.
But whether you...
Will Twitch get mad? No.
You believe that or not, your resistance to honoring someone else recognizing their own God self is just telling the world that you don't believe that you have a God self.
I don't believe I have a God self. I think I'm a fleshy meat person. I'm a hominid. I'm a great ape. I'm a human being. I am a homo sapien. No God being.
So everybody who hated on Mom was literally what they were actually screaming was, I'm not God.
Correct? I guess. I don't think that's intrinsic to what they were saying, but I would imagine 99.99% of people who were saying, your cult leader isn't a god, would also agree that they are not God. Most people don't think they're God. That's delusions of grandeur and narcissistic personality dialed up to 11. You are not God. Chaotic Star Whale with 100 bits and RTK142 says, just getting caught up on double speed. Heard them say they're not quite into eyes, so according to Call, they're not Illuminati, right? I guess that's true. They're safe.
I cannot be a part of God. So that's what's so interesting about the whole thing is like humanity is waiting for like the second coming of Christ. But you already missed it. That's the irony of the whole thing. You fucking missed it. And then you're still crying now that Mom has already ascended. You're still crying about it.
Now you gotta step.
By her view, we're weak-ass gods. Yeah.
So
I can't even get her the proper dinner. She wants chicken parmesan, not meatballs.
I'm just confused what humanity... What are you looking for? Tell us what you're looking for. What are you waiting for?
Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. I got that stuck in my head now. Mike Max says, by her view, we are... Oh, already read that one. My B.
The present is in the present.
Well, the thing is them is that their whole entire beliefs.
Gay Rude NB Union says, do I have any tips for enjoying pot? I try to choose good strains, but it always just makes me think about everyone who's ever hated me. You probably need to take a break then. Some people just have anxiety issues in general with weed, which I find interesting because I was prescribed it for like anxiety reasons when I had the medical card. Now it's recreationally legal in Michigan anyway, but some people, they get too high of a tolerance, and then when they smoke too much, and it brings them into that anxiety space. So if that's the case, maybe consider taking a tea break. Other than that, maybe something with higher CBD content. Yeah, Butter Shave even says add CBD. Yeah, that can help.
System of what Mom was doing plus what this mission was is falling apart because other cults out there.
Can we tone it down with the misuse of the label narcissistic? It's ableist. There's a colloquial meaning of narcissism that's different than the clinical meaning. Gonna have to disagree.
According to Ricky Potato Head, from what I learned from that very
Ricky Potato
yeah, from what I learned from this very enlightening Dr. Phil episode that was just like so spot on about cults, about how everybody just like takes themselves out after, and it's like, how many times do we come on live stream that the goal is to live forever, is to become eternal? Whatever Mom's journey is, she has a whole different path than we do. And she has done everything the way that she has so that we don't have to go through that. So I don't know why you think we're all going to off ourselves That's easier than sticking down here with you fuckers.
Considered it.
Yeah, like, you guys think this is a nice place to live with you guys?
I think it's the only place to live. There's no afterlife, so she's just dead. Mike Mack says Trump is an example of both terms of narcissist. I would tend to agree.
Like, you guys think you really don't make this planet enjoyable to live on. As it wasn't even fun for God to be on. That's how miserable you make it. Not you guys out there, the ones that want to hate on Mom. And now that everything's falling apart, it's like, there was like, oh yeah, they use this for recruitment. And it's like, look, we tell all y'all, don't come. Don't. Stop. We told people for the last 6 to 8 months, we were like, we're not doing that right now. And yeah, it's been who gave the mission? Virginia? And that was really it. And it's not something that's an easy feat right now, as we learn. And we watched over 2.5 years as nobody could really make it in the physical, and it's not you guys' fault. It's just Mom was so much light, and if you were coming into a physical space with Mom and you were not ready for an extreme transformation, then you were going to struggle. If you were not ready to look at those pieces of you that you weren't ready to address, because Mom's like, all gloves are up, you have it, it's coming out. Yeah. And so we're not here to recruit anybody. We're not here to prove anything to anybody. We're here to share Mom's message.
Yeah, that's how most cults talk. One Speedy Yoshi says, are they at least accepting of trans, non-binary people and other stuff, since their cult is literally named Love Wins? I actually don't know.
And her wisdom and what this mission is about, because everybody's going to have to go through it. Everybody that watches every day can feel that, and the internal battle that you have to face, because when you realize that your biggest enemy is not anybody around you but inside you, you're going to need help. Yeah. Because when you realize the person that hates you the most, that wants you to fail, that wants you to be a miserable person and doesn't want you to be happy, is actually inside your brain, and you can stop feeding it, then you'll realize what we're talking about. Because nobody else on the planet outside of you is your own problem, ever. And if anybody is an outside problem in your life, it's because they're mirroring back something you have not transformed, or something to trigger some.
If anyone's ever bad to you ever, it's your own fault. Yikes. Okay, that's some fucked up thought processes there. Weird victim blamey. Mermanda says, I just learned about a thing called trauma bonding in abusive relationships. I think these guys are suffering from that, looking at the meatball video. I don't know enough about it to know anything about it.
Something that you have not transformed. It's that simple. And we will be going live every day to reheart everybody as all of this internal
I wonder how they make money as a group to pay bills for this house and everything.
Shit comes up for everybody to look at. And that's what nobody can face, is that no matter how you see Mom, no matter what, no matter how you see us, you can think we're the biggest bitches. Sure, I'm a huge fucking bitch. Don't get in my fucking way. But we are just mirrors of you. If you think we're bitches, you're a bitch. If you thought Mom...
Oh no, if we think they're in a cult, then we're in a cult. It's the I'm rubber and you're glue defense. It's airtight.
Was Satan, it's because you have qualities of Satan in you. If you think Mom is the worst person ever, or a child abuser, look at your own life. Look at what's happened. The people that wanted to call Mom an abuser, I've said this a million times.
Like when I see someone walking out of the bank in a ski mask holding one of those cartoonish sacks with a dollar sign on it, me recognizing that they're a bank robber makes me a bank robber, and then I get arrested. Twilight Zone. Adia Blue says the spiritual teachings of no you, and One Speedy Yoshi says, oh yes, please put Satan in me. Mermanda says trauma bonding happens when the abuser is angry and abusive and then turns around and showers you with love. That happens in unending cycles. Yeah, love bombing. That's a pretty big thing in cults. Mike Mack says, going against the cult names. Ironic. Von Tuck says, your greatest enemy is inside of you. That's a sign it's time to end that particular relationship and get back on the dating sites.
Times to everybody about Alex Whitten's family, of them being the biggest ones to speak out against us. Meanwhile, I have confronted that family many times, being like, you want to talk about how Alex said his wife hit him? And that there's abuse going on in your life that you don't want to address, and you guys are out here preaching against mom and all this fake bullshit. Own yourself before you start.
Your greatest enemy
coming
is inside
after other
you.
people.
I knew I should have worn a condom.
It's the same thing with Andrew, fake father God. Everyone is like, oh my God, he is like so great for speaking out. And it's like,
I'm going to start skipping through this because there's still like 45 minutes left and I want to move on to other stuff.
Want to talk about how he stole $17,000 from mom? Or do you want to talk about when he bought an engagement ring to propose to mom because he's so linear in the mind, he thought that marriage on mission was a good idea? Mom said no, and then proceeded to give him back the ring that was purchased with her own money, which he then turned in for more of mom's money. So who are you guys going to listen to? Liars. Okay, if you want to hear all of the fake father God stories and whoever wants to speak out and dibbity-dib-ba, go ahead. Because every time I see these people, I'm like, yeah, I remember the stories about you. I remember when you took a bucket of water and dumped it on mom while she was meditating on a balcony. Like, you are an abuser. And until you look at yourself, really everything else you say is irrelevant.
Butternut Squash 3281, thanks for extending your tier 1 through July.
When you have done horrible atrocities to let alone mom, but someone in general, you must really hate somebody to take $17,000 for money that's going to children.
Okay, let's start skipping ahead. Von Tuck says, Mom, folks thinking of Trump as daddy. Are cults just people with mommy and daddy issues? Hey, I have parental issues and I'm not in a cult.
She had I think it was a blood clot, and so probably something similar to what you were talking about, and had a heart attack. Something happened, and they're now investigating her death being linked to the vaccine. I mean, these things are popping up every single day.
Anti-vax pieces of shit.
They're going to start doing more and more and more research. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what's going to start coming out about the vaccine.
Have you seen the black mold shit in India?
Yeah, I didn't. Once you jump into the black hole, you never hit the bottom. You will keep going and you will keep going and you will keep going until one day you wake up and you are living in a prison cell that you call your home. And you don't even know how it happened. And everything you do is censored and watched, and you got a microchip in you, and every move you make, and before you know it, we're living in the fucking Minority Report. And they're going to start predicting your behavior. They're going to start arresting you and jailing you.
You won't even be able to mummify your loved ones in the comfort of your own home without Tom Cruise breaking in and stopping you. What a dystopia.
For having a thought. For predicting that something may happen. That you may step out of line. That's where China's headed. That's where we're headed. So everyone keeps saying like, well, what's the big deal? It's just a mask. It's just this. No, it's not.
It literally is. It's a fucking mask. I hate these people.
It's not just anything. It's giving your power, or not even the wrong thing. Sometimes someone doesn't even say anything wrong at all, but they'll say, that had a tone of racism in it. What the fuck does that mean? What does a tone of racism mean?
Hey, your voice is an A sharp and not A minor, and that's a racist tone.
If I say
sexism.
Black,
and that's a sexism.
Is that a racist tone? Or if I say black, is that a racist?
That's a racism.
Where's the tone? What, who makes the rules? Who's got the scale of tones? Somebody let us know. Who the fuck's making the rules here?
Jesus Christ. Mike Mack says, can cultists and conspiracy theorists really learn how microchips work? No. That would cut out like 30% of the material. Von Tuck says, let's buy a conspiracy weirdo that brings up microchips and Arduino so they know enough about electronics to know how stupid they sound. Arduino. I don't know what that is.
It's an A minor, not an A flat, and that is a pedophiliaism.
I'm like, fuck, man, we're off the rails here. And then the people who are the most celebrating their triggeredness are the ones that come on our stream and say the most vile shit I've ever seen. And we don't we don't really care. But you say one thing to them and they spin out. And that was usually our favorite thing to do, is like when trolls came on and threw a certain energy, we would throw it right back, and immediately they would be like, why are you judging me? What you said was just like really rude. And I'm like, bro, have you read your comments on the stream? Like,
you don't know people's past lives. We've had so many lives on this planet. If you feel this is your first life, it's pretty naive to feel that your soul has never incarnated before. So
I mean, can you demonstrate that reincarnation is real? Until then, I have no reason why I would think otherwise, or think that it doesn't, or I have no reason to believe it does exist. Devious Chilcher says, that commenter's name, Albert Einstein.
Most people feel reincarnation is correct. So there you go.
Wait, did you just say most people think reincarnation exists?
Most people feel to feel that your soul has never incarnated before. So most people feel reincarnation is correct. So
yeah, I don't think that's true. There's a decent portion of people that do, because it's a part of their religion. But like, the biggest religion in the world is Christianity, followed by Islam. I forget what the third one is. Might be Hinduism. I don't know. Yeah, no, most people don't believe in reincarnation.
So there you go.
Yeah,
so you start there, and it's like, no matter what your skin color is in this lifetime, what if it was because the last lifetime you were the total opposite? White, black, white, flip it around, who knows? No matter what, whether it was your last life, 50 lives ago, no matter what it was, we've all been everything. We've incarnated all across the planet. We've incarnated in many different vessels, in many different cultures, speaking different languages, having different skin colors. We've all been everything. These people have gone through this and others have gone through that. We've been through it all together. And that's what people don't understand, and that triggers people too, because it's like,
that's the most obnoxious justification for not caring about racial issues I've ever heard. Well, reincarnation says we're all the things, so don't worry about inequality. Fuck you.
It's not a game of who can be the biggest victim.
Don't even want to know about. And that's what matters, is those souls that took on a lot of fucking shit in this lifetime, and they wanted to because they love us.
The consciousness is not a match. It can't come into fruition because we're field, so it can be
let's see a Mother God clip. I'm done with those two idiots. Let's see them hanging out with Mother God 6 months ago. This was before she died, obviously.
Get 'em!
Woo! Mama! Mama God!
Oh yeah.
Why did they carry her? Whatever.
Well, I just wanted to... That's beautiful out there. Just share that story. The Holy Grail story was pretty big because it was December 7th in 2007. Yes.
Yes.
Holy shit. And my whole moment was for my son, that moment, to watch The Wizard of Oz for the first time. And I had set up this dinner, and I was waiting for it. I was like, we're gonna watch this together.
One Speedy Yoshi says, Hannah, you're telling me if you had a cult people, you wouldn't have someone hot carry you around everywhere? No. Mike Mack says, this reminds me of a video that show old black and white pictures of people that look like celebrities, and people think they're reincarnated or immortal or something evil. Yeah, like the Keanu Reeves one. Princess Amelia says she was apparently paralyzed from the waist down for a long time prior to her death. It was probably related to her cancer. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Watched a lot of movies together without me having to document from the angels. And this particular, as soon as the movie started, the angels were like, pick up your notebook. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, what the fuck's going on? I'll document. What are you saying? And that particular, I was documenting everything. I was like, holy shit. That's why my aunt dressed me up as Dorothy. As 14-year-old girl out there in Orange County, California, she was a Broadway designer of clothes, and she was like, "No, you're Dorothy." I'm like, wow. I had like basket with the Toto dog and the dress. She's like, knock on the door. I'm like, one of these freaking mansion houses. I'm like, no. I'm Dorothy.
Oh, this is incredibly creepy. Them all, like, how do I put this? Them having to laugh along with her, even though what she's saying isn't really funny, but she's God, so if she laughs at something, you have to laugh. Yikes. One Speedy Yoshi says, that's how you want us to laugh whenever you make a joke. Don't lie. No, I want to earn my jokes, or earn my laughs. Thanks.
And I always teased everybody about, if you take the map of the whole United States, and if you put an X in them, there's me. That's where I was born. I even would walk to the park where this, and I'm mostly what am I, Robin? 43% Cherokee Indian. And so there was this Indian statue that was in the middle of town.
Thanks, Radical Mania.
And I would always walk to it, and I would stare at it. I'm like, what does it say? X marks the spot. Huh. Interesting. I wonder. What does that mean? Roses and like vine things. I was like, smell the roses.
She is just completely out of it right now. Like, this is, gosh, what's the word for it? When you sort of jump from topic to topic, meandering without a point, and some people do just tell stories that way, but there's an actual, like, clinical word for this, and I can't remember what it is. When you just, like, have conversation where you're just, like, not quite all there, and you're sort of rambling from topic to topic with very little, not scatterbrained, I feel like there's a, it's called jaking. No, there's an actual word for it, I think.
Marks the spot. But as I was
speaking of followers who think that they're God. Yeah, I saw this one. This person not only advertises frankspeech.com on their truck, they also say, I'm a messenger. Donald Trump is Jesus Christ. Yikes.
Uh-oh. Who's that?
Mimsy.
Oh,
Recent polls have shown 20% of people in the United States have at least some belief in QAnon. Fun fact. Hydrate. Cool. What's this? Cults. It's a cult.
See? Watch my feet, though. Watch mommy's feet. Thank you. Good girl. She's like, oh my gosh, she's ice cold.
Yes, no.
She washing her feet?
Oh.
That's way too high. You're done. Yeah.
Ooh.
Mimsy.
Right down.
right.
Surrender. Which was the song, right? We have another special song Adam's working on. Excited about that. But, so the part of the story went, so all of a sudden the angels were like,
fight of ideas or flight of ideas, a nearly continuous flow of rapid speech that jumps from topic to topic, usually based on discernible associations, distractions, or play on words, but in severe cases so rapid as to be disorganized and incoherent. It's most commonly seen in manic episodes, but also may occur in other mental disorders, such as in manic phases of schizophrenia. Yes, this is what I was trying to describe. Thank you. Flight of ideas. Thanks.
They had me dock you.
One Speedy Yoshi says, Little Red Riding Hood's life took a turn after Grandma died.
You have the red slippers and nobody can take them from you. I was like, okay. What the fuck does that mean? And then it was on TBS. If anyone remembers TBS, or I don't know if it's still out there.
It is.
Yeah. But they would have their little questions and then they would like have answers after. I was like, so I wrote that down. 2 minutes later, TBS comes on and says, what do the ruby slippers mean? I was like, what the fuck? Okay. So I was tripping. I was like, the fuck is going on?
This reminds me of how my mom used to talk when she was drunk.
What do the ruby slippers represent? And I just wrote down.
Like, she thinks she's telling this really enthralling story that everyone is interested in, but it's going nowhere, and no one knows what the fuck she's on about.
You have the yeah. I was like, I was waiting for I was like watching every commercial, like, oh my god, this is taking too long. Get on with it. Please tell me. Please tell me what it needs. I'm sweating. Clues. Who the fuck am I? And they were like, the answer comes on. The ruby red slippers mean the Holy Grail. I was like, what? What does that mean? I'm the Holy Grail? I was like, okay, write that down. I don't know what it means.
Teacher, what the
I
fuck
didn't know
is
half
this?
of what the angels were trying to tell me. I just write it down. Like, I'm confused.
Speedy Yoshi says, I feel like this is the house from Saw 2 where they're pumping in nerve gas, but instead of nerve gas, it's cocaine or something.
Telling me I'm God. Everyone's God. I know this in my heart. They're like, well, you're the main God. I guess they're a main God. So freaking.
How did people fall for this, like, and again, I'm not saying this in a denigrating way, but what appears to be schizophrenic rambling. I think she's talking about hearing voices from angels. She's probably schizophrenic, or was schizophrenic. She's dead now. And all these people are like, yes, that message sounds great. That all sounds very valid. And they just reinforced these delusions for years and enabled her with her alcohol and drug abuse. Like, just absolutely terrible.
Gulpable. That's one of my other names. My daddy. Always call me gullible. I don't know. I don't know shit. I don't know what's
this
going on.
This episode of The View is
But
weird.
I choose love.
Like Max says, because people are dumb, a person is smart. Men in Black.
As long as you choose love, you're always going the right direction. Always. Can't.
Literally, this video is 7 minutes in, and she's said absolutely nothing coherent so far. Nick said, got my second jab yesterday, and now my head is killing me. And what is this? This is a cult called Love Has Won.
There goes the fire.
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up, you guys.
You literally did make that stuff up.
I mean, we should be the favorite channel on the whole planet right now.
Absolutely.
And you guys aren't spreading that. Losers. I think that came from Robin.
I was
pretty sure I felt that energy. I was like, oh. Robin in my face this morning. I'm like,
This is the one with the mummified leader. That's her in the center before she got mummified.
oh, great. We're in a battle.
This girl there has COVID, though.
I threw her under the bus a couple of times. Dragon. They probably don't understand that yet. They haven't seen it.
Maybe some moments last year, but not.
I mean, well, maybe.
Von Tuck says, I wonder how tribal societies deal with narcissists. I can't help but wonder if we're suffering a plague of enabled narcissists in this late stage of capitalism we find ourselves in. I don't know. I honestly think it's an epidemic. I really do. I've talked about this before, and this is coming from someone with absolutely no professional training, so don't take this seriously. But it seems to me that a lot of our problems come from the fact that our system not only enables but rewards narcissistic behavior, and it's breeding just terrible groups of people. It's bad. It's bad. It's unsustainable is how I would describe it.
But
Mike says midlife crisis,
Yeah.
mental illness,
Father, would
alcoholism,
you like to say
Karen, and a
anything?
cult leader equals God.
Sure.
That math checks out.
I was just screening back through the videos whether you had a dragon or not. And there was a couple I can recall real quick.
Exactly what
What a great story Mom shared today about the Holy Grail. And we were
it's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
I was very shocked. I was like, and then sitting there waiting for the commercials. I was like, what? What are they trying to tell me? I love it.
We were discussing how it pertains to this time and how the collective has essentially taken her feet out, and that's part of it. You know, they take the feet out so that she can't
Holy Grail.
put the ruby slippers on, so to say. It's just so stupid, so backwards.
Yeah. It's sad.
Many events going on, and keep the joy. Keep the joy 100%, children. For Mother, she created us that way. She's the one going through the experience, and we're all grateful for that. Eternally grateful. Always in support.
Yes.
And that's what you kids can do out there, is be your divine selves. She said if you just choose love in every moment, everything's going to be fine. We're so blessed to be here with you today. We're going to get Mom out of here now so she can continue her ascension.
Love you, Mama. Mama,
Continue her ascension. That's interesting. In a more recent video, they described her death as an ascension. Huh. Mike Mack says, is this the beginning of a porno or what? And Danny Does says, this dude looks like a pirate.
I will tell you that we have more experiences with you guys. Just keep pushing forward.
Getting Mom.
Jesus. So that's the Love Has Won cult. We'll, of course, look at them in the future on Cult Watch, but very bizarre. I'm curious how those charges for, I would imagine, desecration of a corpse. I don't know what other charges are involved. I'm curious how those are gonna pan out for them, but whatever. Moving on. One Speedy Yoshi says, I know he's a cult member, but he's about to make me act up. And then Nick says, their sound mixing is killing my ears. Too quiet one moment and then too loud the next. I know, I'm sorry. The laughs are way louder than the rest of it. Sleepy. So this is QAnon adjacent. This is an individual in Canada who's claiming to have been made the head of state and commander-in-chief of the Republic of Canada, I think by Donald Trump. So let's take a listen to this. Nick says, they sound like they're on pot, too. Too bad I can't get a contact high from watching the video. Could bloody use it right now. Sorry.
Hello, Canada. I'm Romana Didolo. I'm the founder and leader of Canada First. As of February this year, 2021, I am the head of state and commander-in-chief of Canada, the Republic. In case you're wondering who appointed me as the head of state and commander...
You thought that was Marcel? No, Marcel is an independent emperor of his own nation, not Canada, so they're gonna have to fight, I guess.
Commander-in-chief of the Republic of Canada. The people who appointed me are the White Hats and the U.S. military.
Wow, I didn't know the U.S. military got to appoint a Canadian leader. Fun. H. Baird says, is Marcel one of the person's judges? If so, how are we... so are we effed? We're always effed with Marcel. He's a judge, bitch.
Together with the global allied troops and their governments. The same group of people who have helped President Trump. The same group of people who have seized the assets of the Vatican Church.
They're QAnon people who think that, I don't know, the UN or the US government with the UN or something has seized the Vatican's assets or arrested the Pope. Neither of which has happened.
The same group of people who have seized the assets of the fake royal family of the UK, installed by the central bankers 200 plus years ago.
How old does she think the monarchy in the UK is? Not the monarch, the monarchy. Jesus. 1,200 years. That's 1,000 years off of this person's estimate. RTK142 says this person is likely never met the Fuhrer, so how are they being appointed by him? The sheer expletive deleted hubris they show in their delusions. I know.
The same group of people who have seized the assets of the 13 family bloodlines. The same group of people who have seized the assets of most, if not all, royal families of Europe. The same group of people who have removed the criminal governments across the world. Now that that is out of the way, I would like to say a special hello and thank you to the U.S. Armed Forces and Allied Forces inside the Republic of Canada. Thank you for your sacrifice. And
I see why they chose this person. So charismatic. Bardlock Moses says, just got off work just in time for the crazies. Welcome. I hope work was good.
Service to humanity. Above all, thank you on behalf of the men and women and children of the Republic of Canada. Now on to our Canada First members from coast to coast to coast.
Mike Mack says, if the world is already in a one-world order, then that means we lost, and there's nothing people can't do.
And I would like to
assume you mean
send a very special thanks and greetings to our digital soldiers on Telegram.
Yeah, I'll speed it up.
These groups of people have given up their time and energy, working tirelessly and sharing information, awakening their fellow Canadians and people around the globe. So thank you. for your service to humanity. Now, I would like to address the vaccinations and injections happening across the Republic. As far back as late February, early March of this year, right immediately I took my oath as the head of state and commander-in-chief. I declared Canada a vaccine-free nation, which means all of the vaccines and injections happening across the
Can't
Republic
hear me when I don't pause the
is
videos.
unlawful, criminal, and is crime against humanity. And for those individuals and groups who may not know,
Nick
know
says,
this.
I declare
Inside
vaccine
the Republic,
free!
the penalty for crimes against humanity, treason, economic sabotage, and bioterrorism is death. You will be tried for crimes against humanity under Nuremberg Code. And if that is not enough, as the head of state and commander-in-chief of the Republic of Canada, I will convene a military tribunal and charge you with crime against humanity, treason, bioterrorism, and economic sabotage, all of which carry, as I've already mentioned, death penalty. I would also like to remind you that the corporation government with whom you work for and take orders now will not be around to protect you and defend you. The corporation government will not exist inside the Republic of Canada. The banking system of the corporate government will not exist inside the Republic of Canada. The court system of the corporate government of Canada will not exist inside the Republic. So I encourage you to think very, very carefully.
Could we speed her up by 1.25? We're already... I keep going back and forth between they and she. I don't know this person's pronouns. I apologize if I'm misgendering this person. The playback speed's already at 1.5.
Immediately stop your actions in dealing with promotions, deliveries, etc., etc.
Mass Lunacy says, these people have seen too many American-centric films. They're so impressed by military tribunal. I know, right? Mike Mack says, man, these people don't know how the military really works, or even if the government itself has never heard of checks and balances.
They're not even vaccines. They haven't been approved for use. Unless
they're vaccines. They've been approved.
It's emergency. They're supposed to be trying and experimenting with this vaccine, with these.
Yes, this is sped up. This is at 1.5 speed already. Do you want to see the regular speed? I can put it back down to show you. This is normal.
What I call drug cocktail, poison drug cocktail that's been mixed by the pharmaceutical industry. And they're using the Canadian...
Insufferable. I'll go back to 1.5. Screw it, 1.75.
People. The people of the Republic as their lab rats. And these actions will not go unpunished, as I've already mentioned. So I urge you to consider very, very carefully your options. Because should time come when the head of state and commander-in-chief of the Republic of Canada, and that is I, must sign your execution papers for these crimes against the Republic, I will do so.
That's a good way to open up to people and be like, hey, I'm the new leader of the country, just by saying, hey, I'm gonna kill you. Lovely. Okay, so that's this person. Very, very strange.
Becoming one with their attitude towards God and personality, which they call thinking white. And what I find so ironic is the leftist attack on reason itself.
Hbeard says, this video is the equivalent of writing an English paper in high school where it has to be 3 pages, so you triple space everything. Bitter Grin says, I declare myself Emperor of North America, and I declare North America to be a vaccine mandatory zone. Anyone not getting the vaccine will face tribunal of drag queens. RTK142 says, I hereby declare myself the Empress of the United Federation of Planets, and I declare that transphobia, homophobia, and racism are crimes against sapient beings.
28th, 2021, 12th year Chungi, the 4th month, and the 17th day now by the heavenly calendar. Timil was sitting in for the second king of Chungu, Yongchin Moon.
Yeah, remember the other day I was telling you that the king guy from this cult, the one that Peter's a part of, he sounded sick. Now in this most recent episode, hosting duties have been taken over by another guy. So yeah, that dude must have been sick. My mic seems quiet. That's so weird. I can turn up the gain a little bit. How's that? Is that any better? I wonder why it's coming through so quietly. Von Tuck says, now we know where Peter gets his ideas about epic music for his video intros. Yeah.
To expose YouTube, and we
oh, that idiot was at the Capitol on the 6th.
Over there. What's happening?
This is a Twitch channel called The Indoctrination. This is a straight-up QAnon conspiracy theory channel that does regular content here on Twitch. They have more followers than I do. Sad tier. Anyway, let's take a look.
And Snetheads, how you doing? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, sorry I was a few seconds late there on the uptake. I got a little distracted.
Did I hear back from Peter? Doing? I did. Peter's not moving to Texas, according to him.
Happy Friday, TGIF. Fabulous to be with you here tonight. Good to see everybody's bright, smiley faces. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Kay. How you doing? Toad Boy, how you doing? What's going on? Does Dave have wine tonight? I don't. I probably should. But maybe later. Maybe later.
Twitch is turning into YouTube. Kinda.
Ooh, right up to the show.
I've
hey,
reported
Eric,
this channel multiple times to Twitch too, and they've done nothing. So maybe they're just fine with this on their platform, and that's their business. But I've explicitly reported this channel like 3 or 4 times, and nothing has been done. So
awesome. Wow. Thank you, Eric. And I got your note about reversing some of them next time
you could be a Mark Cuban impersonator.
So thank
Mark
you for that.
Cuban if he wasn't rich,
yeah, guys,
and he
thanks
did
for sending me
a
all
little
those
bit of meth.
awesome pictures.
But he's only like 3 weeks
just
into
love
doing
seeing
meth.
you guys out doing your thing. So many awesome pictures, and so I really enjoy seeing those. And if you have sent me or will send me, I will add them.
Hannah
I will add
lives?
them.
Earth.
I look forward to doing that. Awesome to see everybody again.
Are they partnered? No.
Welcome. My name is David Snedeker. This is The Indoctrination, where we expose the indoctrination, almost like we use Facebook to expose Facebook. We use YouTube to expose YouTube. And we expose all these platforms through the use of their own platforms.
But God forbid you see someone's feet.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
See, they thought they were.
It's fine as long as it's in a hot tub. Okay.
They were going to spy on us and use all this technology to get us to. If
contextually being in a pool makes bathing suit streams okay, can I like start doing foot massage streams where someone's giving me a professional foot massage and it's all on camera. Well, contextually. Whatever. Nick says, funny how all the indoctrination they expose is people they disagree with. And Kirthan says, yeah, but where are you really from, Hannah? Isn't your species extra-dimensional? That's a personal question, okay? I don't want people finding my interdimensional demi-plane, okay? It's fine. Leave it be.
Succumb to their whims, to succumb to their indoctrination. And no, they screwed up big time, because here's why. A little over a year ago, they started the plandemic. Actually, it started, as we know, much.
No, they didn't. Pandemic is not a false flag. Jesus Christ. He used to have, like, full-on Q merchandise and stuff in the background, but I think he took it down to make it a little more... He's trying to be sort of crypto-fashy about it. He's trying to hide explicitly what the channel is, even though it's obvious what it is. If you listen to it for 5 minutes. Puffin Time says, is that Crown guy really Peter's cult? I'm somehow in disbelief that despite all I've seen, yeah, that's Peter's cult. He's in it. He lives with his parents who are more into it than he is. But yes, that he's part of that cult. Vast Lunacy says, make a spa day stream, Hannah. Get some relaxation in that sweet, sweet foot money. No, thanks.
Much earlier than that. And here we are, a little over a year later from them actually launching it upon the United States of America, January 15. But we know that it was happening much earlier than that in China. They were gearing up for this and going back to many, many years with Dr. Fauci and the Wuhan lab. And if we get in that habit of checking ourselves, checking the information that we're receiving, that's just forming a good habit, right?
Okay, let's see what other stuff he gets into.
All right. What'd you do?
I forgot to turn up the volume on my laptop.
Oh, Ada.
His
I
audio
wasn't
is out of
gonna
sync.
admit to that, but then I thought, oh, God.
You can't be on a...
Hey, you know, how we learn the comms and follow the comms. So, you know, the bottom line here is that I think there's an ego involved with wanting to know when, how, what. And we weren't meant to know. And we have...
It's not that QAnon's bullshit. We just aren't meant to know. Even though whoever this Q person is explicitly went on 4chan initially to tell people things. We're narcissists and have egos if we want more details. Von Tuck says, I wonder how long until they turn on Reagan, seeing how Fauci is a Ronald Reagan appointee originally. Good question.
Have no right to know either. And what do I mean by that? This is my opinion, by the way. This is not gospel. What I'm about to say is that we have a sense of entitlement, and certainly your question about, you know, these children are getting this jab, and it's devastating, and it kills me. It tears me up inside to think what's going on right now. So yes, I do want to know the answer to that, like what, when, and why, and how, and how can we keep the numbers, you know, lower, and how can we bounce back from this? But
fun fact,
honestly,
I'm banned from chatting on this channel. I have been banned.
It's like it's really not that much worse than I think about how all these children that are coming out. So the best we can do is what we can with what we have.
Okay, I'm already bored of
Right.
this guy. Oh, my ADHD is kicking in hard. Oh, God, I gotta find something interesting to watch. Okay, let's watch one of these Vice documentaries on cults. This one's how about this one?
Celebrity seances.
What I am ready.
Political parties. Anime films.
We have the media, political party, we're a religion. It's like, what is this thing?
Happy Science claims to be a religion preaching love and happiness, but others disagree.
It's very much focused on remilitarizing Japan.
She was very keen on Japan invading China and Korea.
I was walking away from the building, I thought, like, wait a minute, is this a cult?
You will attain the true happiness in your life.
This is False Gods, and in this episode, we're sticking our nose into the weird world of Ryuo Okawa, the kingpin of a mysterious organization called Happy Science.
Happy Science is a universal religion for today, founded by Master Ryuho Okawa in 1986.
Do they have an active YouTube channel? Hold on. Yes. Thank you, Internet.
By Ryuo Okawa after he realized he was literally God while working abroad on Wall Street. The group's teachings are a mashup of New Age thinking, far-right...
You want a link to the Happy Science cult anime they made to convert people? Is that a question? Yes. Citosaurus says, recruitment vid? Is this the anime? Oh my god. Yes. Hello.
Cassie has been chilling on the couch with me.
Good.
She was sitting in my lap.
Cute. Kirthan, thank you for gifting a sub. Different cult? Gotcha.
Nationalism and self-help advice. It claims to have 12 million followers worldwide, with branches and temples in over 100 countries.
One source.
Princess Amelia says, as they mentioned, Happy Science also has a series of anime movies, most of them with English subtitles. They range from merely weird to effing wild. I'll have to check them out one of these days on Cult Watch.
One planet, one people.
These are the links, or this is the link apparently. Oh my god, it's 2 hours long!
Was in fact a meteorite. In other news, the highly anticipated star.
I mean, it looks like an anime. It looks like a little cheap, but like...
Well, if we left it to you guys, you'd come up with...
Yeah, we'll have to watch this sometime. Seems fun. You know, for a cult-related thing.
Welcome to Happy Science.
It asks believers to part with cash to rise through the ranks on the way to enlightenment. Critics have called it a spiritual pyramid scheme. The level of commitment varies. Some followers are full-time ministers, others just donate a tenner online.
There are membership fees, there are donations for prayers, for blessings.
That anime and SOS music video doubleheader, that'd be fun. Careful, Hannah, some of these anime peeps get crazy DMCA stuff. Yeah, I know.
Members may kind of rise in status based on donation to Okawa and his larger project.
Happy Science's annual income has been gauged at $45 million.
The followers, they seem very adamant about classifying that this is not a cult.
We have never conducted such a practice of pyramid scheme. We don't have ranks, as I mentioned. We don't have a tiered system. And the missionary work of our members is to become members of Happy Science.
Happy Science teaches that the Earth was created millions of years ago.
The time has come to begin the creation of the human race here on Earth.
It was at this time that El Miore, the former ruler of Venus and the first ninth-dimensional being of the Earth.
What?
Changed his name to El Cantare.
When I entered the meditation room, I saw...
Killjoy says this is not a cult or pyramid scheme. Every cult or pyramid scheme ever. Mike Max says Saint Young Men is an anime where Jesus and Gustama Buddha living together in Tokyo as best friends. I've heard of that.
Saw a gold statue in the center of the room, and at first I thought it was Jesus. I started thinking, like, Jesus does not look like that. Is this like Japanese Jesus? But like,
oh Jesus. RTK142 says, if it doesn't have space planes that look like DC-10s, I don't want to be a part of it.
why is he wearing a tall hat? I don't understand. Is this Buddha? But I started to figure out, like, no, this is El Cantare.
According to Happy Science, he'd has been reborn over and over again in order to keep an eye on humanity. He'd have previously taken the form of figures like Odin and Buddha.
In their cosmology, El Cantare is an ancient god from Venus.
And guess who El Cantare is today? That's right, Ryuo Okawa. This guy's the supreme god of Earth, more powerful than Jesus, Allah,
I've not
and
heard
Moses
of Health
combined.
Course, no.
さらに私は、ブッダも魂の兄弟の一人で、ブッダも地上に送り込んだ。2500年前に送った。さらにマホメットですね。ムハンマド、イスラム教のムハンマドも。
Why did you have them say different things then? Why do they have conflicting religious beliefs? Von Tuck says, sorry, Hannah, the only valid cult video has been chosen. Oh, yeah, SOS. Is this the English version or is this the Japanese one? For those who don't know, this is a music video that was put out by a Japanese cult in the 90s. They did a whole VHS tape, which we'll watch at some point on this show. Dr. Gamble says, only 9th dimensional? Lame. I'll have you know, I only worship 20th dimensional beings or higher. It's good to have standards. Sidosaurus says, if you're interested in a weird culty Christian thing from the 90s and early 2000s I almost fell for, I should look into Teen Mania Ministries to do this creepy boot camp.
Come in here. Don't touch me. The rest of this group is going to do mud PT. I want you to stand right over there and enjoy your snack.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So far, Ryuo has pumped out over 2,000 books.
2,000? He's written 2,000 books? I haven't even read 2,000 books, and you wrote 2,000 books? What?
The vast majority of which are direct transcriptions of his video lectures.
Okay.
In 2011, Okawa claimed the Guinness World Record for the most books written in 1 year by one person.
Happy Science can look like a media franchise fandom. Their media output is prodigious. At last count, at least in English, the number of books numbering, I think, nearly 3,000.
These aren't Happy Science's only cultural contributions to the world. It hates media so much that it basically went and invented its own media and even started an all-girl pop group called Angewell. As well as the books, it uses anime films to push its ideology. Did you know that Satan is actually half cat, half man, army general, who used a flying saucer to hunt dinosaurs to extinction?
That's the most badass sentence I think I've heard in months. What? I need to watch that anime now. What? Satan is a cat boy who hunted the dinosaurs to extinction? Sold. 80 Blue says, this is why I follow you, Hannah. Good choice. Can I replay that clip? I sure can.
Comes to push aside a pop group called Angewell. As well as the books, it uses anime films to push its ideology. Did you know that Satan is actually half cat, half man, army general, who used a flying saucer to hunt dinosaurs to extinction? And there's more. Ryuo says that when on Earth, this intergalactic cat Satan disguises itself as a furry.
Satan is a furry? Good for him.
All of these things act as vessels for Ryuo's sprawling worldview.
Satan is the one who fucked up Rainforest. Fun fact. That was him. Mike Mack says Japanese Scientology, and Bardlock Moses says that cat boy will be the big bad evil guy in Alive. Kirthan says it's Achilles Argyle. He's the Satan furry.
While Ryuo keeps most of his followers...
Please link the video. This video? Here you go. RTK142 says, okay, we're all part of this cult now, right? Also, this dude looks like he's reporting from Greendale Community College Library.
...followers at arm's length. He's much more eager to get intimate with dead people, especially the famous ones.
There was a flyer going around London. It was for a seance where this organisation called Happy Science was going to try and get the ghost of Margaret Thatcher and summon her and ask her what Britain should do about Brexit.
Margaret Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher.
Why in the world, out of all the potential politicians who are dead that you could summon, why would you summon Margaret Thatcher? No matter what you ask her, she's just gonna say, ooh, fuck Scotland! Adia Blue says the world is a vampire, the devil is a furry. A link to the idol group. Oh god. Okay, saved. RTK says at least go for Churchill. Hi. Love you too.
I'm now a permanent fixture.
Okay.
Come down to this place and answer our questions.
You find you were dead yesterday. Huh? Can you understand?
I can't.
Oh.
I'm still alive.
So he pretends to embody the spirit and become Margaret Thatcher.
Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
Prime Minister. Dennis!
Many of these...
I do like the idea that if Margaret Thatcher was brought back from the dead, she would just yell, I am the Prime Minister! Mike Mack says, reminds me of the episode of Spitting Image where British government summoned the spirit of Margaret Thatcher.
Happy Science seances are framed as bizarre press conferences. Gangs of fawning underlings pose as journalists as Ryuo is possessed by famous figures from history. Whether it's Thatcher, Steve Jobs, Freddie Mercury, Barack Obama...
Wait!
What?
I didn't miss a big, huge piece of news, right? Because I feel like I probably would have heard when that happened.
One of these things is not like the other.
Or merely Jesus.
In the seance, Margaret Thatcher had some interesting things to say. Funnily enough, they seem to align with all of the goals and objectives of Happy Science.
I couldn't understand the EU system, and now EU is destroying. I've heard that.
She was very keen on Japan expanding its military and invading and attacking China and Korea.
Fight!
Yeah.
Just fight!
We fight.
Japan should fight!
She did not like President Obama very much, and she thought that he should be killed.
Yeah.
Never permit intrusion! Attack them!
Why does Margaret Thatcher have a heavy Japanese accent? Like, if a spirit took over your body, shouldn't they just be able to speak how they would speak? I mean, based on, you know, your larynx and everything. The tone might be different, but they shouldn't have an accent. That's not a physical thing. That's just, like, how you talk.
Quite surreal.
This particular god's been having a few family problems. Ryuo's eldest son, Hiroshi, recently left Happy Science, and he's been slagging them off ever since. Today, Hiroshi's trying to make his own way as an actor and YouTuber. I mean, It must be hard stepping out of your dad's shadow when loads of people think he's God.
While he held a kind of a sacred position within the kind of central Holy Family, he's now denounced as demonic by the organization and is being sued for defamation.
Happy Science was one of a number of new religions that emerged in Japan in the late 80s and early 90s. While it has a relatively utopian mission statement to unite all people beyond religion, culture, and ethnicity, it's got a dark side too. Apparently, these tidings of peace and love don't extend to China or North Korea, who Happy Science really hate. It even set up its own Japanese nationalist party to push this agenda.
It's very much focused on remilitarizing Japan, preparing them for the threat of China, which they believe is a major threat to Japan and the world, and also to North Korea. In their first major election campaign, they famously had a YouTube commercial in which nuclear weapons from North Korea were being launched and exploding in Japan and causing mushroom clouds.
We believe the value of religious freedom.
See, Mock, thank you for subscribing for 5 months. I appreciate it.
They are a party that has a nationalistic outlook and a security sense, but an internationalist view. They're not a racist party of, the pure Japan, let's have no immigrants. It's a sort of a mixture that makes them quite unique. Some might suggest that their campaigning is to bring attention to the religion itself.
The Happiness Realization Party was led for years by Ryuo's ex-wife Kyoko. She swore that if she was ever elected Prime Minister of Japan, she would carpet bomb North Korea.
Yikes.
Perhaps unsurprisingly, she never...
Look, I don't like North Korea either. North Korea is a horrible totalitarian state, and I feel for all of its citizens, and like they torture and imprison people in terrible ways. But starting World War III or whatever, not a great move strategically, because most of us would be dead.
Tasted electoral success.
So Kyoko was in charge of the Happiness Realization Party, as well as playing a kind of a role in their divine cosmology, as she is the wife of Ryuho Okawa and also a reincarnated goddess herself, the reincarnation of Aphrodite's.
They've definitely...
Does North Korea even have any allies? China. Yeah. China likes North Korea as a buffer state. Hold on. North Korea... on map. A little bit more zoomed out would be good. North Korea is like a buffer state between China and South Korea. South Korea, of course, being an ally of the United States with United States military bases within it. North Korea sort of provides an area that it would be strategically advantageous for them to keep North Korea there, so it's not controlled by an ally of the United States and Western powers. So China and North Korea are allies of one another. I would imagine China's pretty fed up with North Korea's bullshit, but it's a strategic partnership. So yes, China and North Korea are allies.
Got a political wing, and they've got a different agenda to the one that they claim to have, which is about a harmonious earth and peace between all people. They really want to be quite aggressive in Japan, arming up and attacking other nations and making Japan a bigger and richer nation. So it's quite nefarious and menacing when you look into it.
Like her son, Kyoko has repeatedly attacked Happy Science since she left 10 years ago. She says it has just 30,000 followers, just a fraction of the 12 million it claims.
So Happy Science has 12 million followers around the world in over 106 countries. We have branch temples in every continent, all over the world.
Her defection.
Yeah? Can I see it? Or show it to the camera? Look at this baby corn!
It's so weird. Smells like corn.
I mean, I'm glad it smells like corn. It should. It's corn.
Your corn.
I'm not Corn, okay? Corn lives down the street, okay?
It was a dramatic affair that made...
Logarth says congratulations to you and Jake.
covers of tabloids of Japan. I think she was also denounced as demonic.
Most people have a one-track mind. However, there are different kinds of people and many ways of thinking and living, just as there are various kinds of butterflies.
Weird stuff. What's this video that Daddy Sume sent? Logarth says he has his daddy's ears. Oh, God.
Rex, what are you doing here?
Escaping. Ever since we cured the genophage, it's been nothing but work.
Council been riding you?
Bah! Not those project shit slingers. No, it's the...
Hands off. Let's do glasses.
It's the female shepherd. Now that they're fertile again. I haven't slept in I don't know how long.
I don't think I've ever had this scene happen before. I don't remember this.
Can I get you two anything?
2 more drinks. And another bag of ice.
I would have thought you'd be enjoying the perks of Krogan fertility.
Enjoying it? There's a line of females outside my dwelling right now. Stretches on for as far as you can see. I had to sneak out my own bathroom window. Even then, I was cornered by 2 more females on the ride from Tuchanka.
And it's just you. They're not spreading the love around?
Sure, but everyone wants their firstborn in generations to be strong and fit. I'm the leader of Clan Erdnot.
You thought Rex was on Tuchanka after Mass Effect 1? This is Mass Effect 3. It's been, again, 3 is the one I played the least, so I guess I don't remember. It's hidden in the Citadel DLC. You need to visit the bar where you buy the supplies for the party. It's hidden along with the story with Joker. Okay.
I brought an end to the genophage. Everyone on Tuchanka wants a piece of me. And Bakar is no help at all. She encourages it. I'm telling you, Shepard, I'm in no shape to fight Reapers.
Aren't you in charge? They could at least hold off until after the war.
You've never been stalked by a fertile Krogan female, Shepard. There is no holding off, just holding.
Here are your drinks. And a bag of ice.
I thought Morden's procedure was painful. Oh well. Shit, Shepard. We sure have been through it, haven't we?
Still going through it.
True. Well, here's to us. And then going through it.
I'll drink to that.
Cabal! It means victory or death, roughly.
Ah, but you can't die, Rex. You got a family now. A really big family.
Ah! More ice!
That's cute. Is this other one the Joker one? I'll hold off on it just because, yeah. So this is another cult recruitment video. This one's an anime as well, I think. Sorry about the tracking noise. That's just on the the whatever. What? Are there not English subtitles?
これからちょっと田舎へ帰ってくるんですよ。
徳島まで結構大変ね。
ええ。出張するために両親と話し合ってくるつもりです。
説得はできそうなの？
母は信徒ですから、よく話をすれば分かってくれると思うんです。問題なのは親父の方ですね。
Yeah, that's shit. I can't watch that.
So, why did we leave the garden? At the end of the documentary, it says that we've moved our attention to supporting other communities. And that's exactly what we've done. The Permaculture Mutual Aid Network was born. Initiative to support permaculture projects.
I just want to say, because this is so controversial and there's so many heated opinions on this.
Oh, it's okay. I understand. You don't have to apologize. I appreciate whenever people send me stuff, even if it doesn't end up being something we watch. Thank you.
I do not condone the garden at all. I denounce the garden. Hello, welcome back to my channel. The sound should be a little bit better because I've got myself a microphone. If it's not, then... Today, I'm doing something totally new on this channel. Basically, when I started this channel, I wanted it to be about things that I'm really into, and the things that I'm into are reading, writing, and weird stuff on the internet. That is the only way that I can define it. Just strange little internet rabbit holes that you fall down at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then suddenly you've spent like 5 hours on it, and you're like, what am I doing with my life? So there's still gonna be reading videos on this channel. It's gonna be bi-weekly. So one week there will be a reading and books related video, and one week there will be a Weird Wednesday video. But Emily, what is Weird Wednesday? Start this series.
I believe in Jesus. I actually have seen Jesus in the mirror.
Believe in. Wait, one word? Yeah, the source. You're welcome to come at any time, leave at any time, even for a tour.
You use this evidence to try and get him deported via ICE. Where's the evidence? Doesn't exist because you made it up.
As far as I'm concerned, the person who's calling me white is racist against white people.
The garden, that intentional commune all over the For You page, is most likely a cult.
Do we live in a cult?
But I feel like certain people have been taking it too far. Some people are calling ICE.
We have a lot of TikTokers here. It just came just for a tour.
Good morning, Cult Talk. It's time for your morning update.
I want to lay this out in two parts. First of all, I want to talk about the initial story, which was the TikTok commune advertising itself on the platform and the controversy that kind of spiraled from that. And then I also want to talk about what transpired after. This isn't a tea video. Nobody is going to be like called out or anything like that. That's not the intention of this video. It's just to give a very neutral kind of idea of what's happened. Now, if you're not on TikTok, you've probably missed this whole thing, and I don't blame you for not being on there. This all started when a user on TikTok started to post videos about a intentional community living space that they were part of in Tennessee called The Garden.
So, right there is our office, and right here is a main road. You're welcome to come at any time, leave at any time, even for a tour. And if you don't want to come, I don't care.
The Gardens always put their address out online. They say that anybody is allowed. It's a total egalitarian space, and it's kind of free for all. So they started putting videos out on social media, and to begin with, the response they got was relatively positive. They were saying, come to our commune. A lot of people were showing interest, and a lot of people started showing up from TikTok at the Garden.
We have a lot of TikTokers here. It just came just for a tour. What do you think of the Garden?
I'm in love, and I will get lost in the dog pit all day.
What do you think about the Garden?
Dream. I love it here. It's super cool.
I want to take care of the chickens.
Woo!
Things started to go a little bit awry when other people at the Garden started posting on social media.
Babylon is crumbling, and we have the answers. We are the revolution. We are the people, and we can teach you how to live sustainably. So please follow the revolution. Thank you so much.
This is where the accusations of them being a cult seem to have stemmed from. They're actively recruiting on TikTok, putting out their address, telling everybody to come, this is a safe space. And they allegedly had people on the property that had ongoing criminal cases and people that allegedly have kind of COVID denial, racist points of view. I'm not going to put any of the evidence of that here. I'm not going to name the names of who it is because enough has been said about that. If you are interested in any of the stuff about this story, you can go and find out things for yourself online, but I'm not going to be part of putting up posts from people's Facebook profiles or anything like that.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
We have land, and any human who wants to live here can, and join this clan. 20 hours of work and $10 a week to stay on this land, because we understand that we can go against what we've been programmed if we follow the planet's plan. I got a planet plan.
Kills your other animals. You kill that animal. And because we don't waste, whoever was here at that point in time ate that cat. And it's not.
They ate a cat.
Now, nobody knows who ate the cat. The Garden say it was a feral cat that was running around hurting its chickens, and people online started to speculate that it wasn't a feral cat, that it was indeed a domestic cat that had just been left that somebody shot. According to some people, this happened in 2019 and it was indeed a feral cat. I can understand why people on TikTok do not like this. I'm not personally a fan of eating a feral cat at all. And then there's more to the cat thing, because somebody at the Garden decided to make the cat, or another cat, it hasn't actually been proven that the cat that got shot was the actual one that was made into a hat. People began to criticise the Garden for having this open door policy and actively recruiting people on TikTok. One thing I want to add here is the Garden's proximity to sundown towns. If you're not familiar, a sundown town is an area that is dangerous for non-white people via discriminatory laws and racial segregation, among other things. While some like to think that
Cover up Lupine's ears. I am wearing headphones, so she cannot hear about the cat.
sundown towns are a thing of the past, a writer named Morgan Jerkins has an article where she explains why that isn't really the case, and I'll leave a link for that in the description box. It's also shocking to me that when asked whether the Garden was near a sundown town, users at the Garden didn't even know what it was. You know, these are people that have been blasting their address on social media to hundreds of thousands of people, and they're not even aware of the history of the area in which they're living. This is just another example of how the Garden makes itself an inhospitable commune for marginalised communities. However, I will say that black members of the Garden have said in various TikTok lives that they've never really felt uncomfortable in the area. And it should be noted that the nearest known sundown town from the Garden is roughly an hour away. However, a visitor to the Garden recently spoke on TikTok about how they had visited the commune and had travelled back home in fear due to seeing swastikas and other racist imagery in the surrounding area.
Gross. RTK142 says, I hate myself that my mind went to a dirty place when they talked about eating a cat. I'll put myself in horny jail. Please do.
Despite this, the Garden continues to be adamant on the space being safe for everyone, which it clearly isn't. To make matters worse, the Garden's response to people calling them a cult was to make videos around drinking the Kool-Aid.
Not again. Here you go, Julia.
Thanks, bro.
And to then go around filming people at the Garden asking if they're in a cult.
Jeff, do we live in a cult?
Because as we all know, people in cults are usually very self-aware about the fact that they are in fact in cults.
I will give a little bit of my opinion on the Garden, because I don't think it's a cult at all. I think that the Garden is an intentional community that wants to be a place where everybody is allowed.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it. I see why people would think cult, and I'm honestly leaning that direction too, with how weird it is and all that shit. If it's not a cult, it's the kind of thing that would become a cult very quickly. You know what I mean? Some sort of charismatic leader would assert themselves and take control of the situation. It's a lot of very strange individuals trying to start a commune, and I don't think that'll end well for any of them.
Who wants your glasses?
Yeah. Vegan teacher, or Mike Max says, vegan teacher, what the fuck is this? And Von Tuck says, that sundown town Google map, that visual modernity of something like that was depressing. Yeah.
because they want to have that kind of like open space where anybody is allowed in here and it makes everything equal. The problem is the garden isn't equipped, from what I have seen.
A video about the garden that TikTok.
Those are the people that killed the cat.
Yeah, they ate the cat.
On TikTok, and also heard from previous members who have been there, is that they are not equipped to handle large amounts of people, for one. And when you publicise a open door policy all over TikTok, a platform which has huge reach and a lot of young people, you're going to get people
Just
showing
that
up at your
troll I
doorstep
banned
who may have
messaging me.
needs that you're not able to meet, be them disability.
The one that's name spells out clitoris.
What'd they say?
They said, "Eat my cat. Will you eat my cat?" Double entendre.
Substance abuse issues, mental health issues, and to have this open door policy in a pandemic saying that anybody is able to rock up is dangerous. What I really think about the garden is that it's a case of very bad publicity. The people on TikTok who were
I know, you banned them. Thank you, Halloween Town.
advertising the garden, trying to recruit people to come to the garden, aren't really the best spokespeople. If you're going to say on the internet that everybody is welcome here, and you're also welcoming in people that have racist beliefs, allegedly, COVID denial beliefs, allegedly, people who are anti-mask, allegedly, then your space
See you, Nick.
is
Thanks for coming.
absolutely not safe. Intentional communities thrive all over the world, and there are ones that have open door policies. But from what I've seen, and from people I know who have been involved in intentional communities that have open door policies, they are very prone to getting overrun if you do not have the facilities in place to deal with people who have substance abuse issues, mental health issues, and other issues that they may come to you with that they need help with. I do think that these spaces can thrive and be really good, positive spaces for people. But if you're advertising on TikTok and your videos are reaching hundreds of thousands of people, because this was very, very viral, and you don't have the facilities to deal with all of these people, then I think that what you're doing is dangerous. But that is not me saying that intentional communities, off-grid living, homeschooling, unschooling, any of those things are inherently bad. And I think communities like the garden and places like the garden can thrive. If you've been watching
Unschooling and
the situation
homeschooling are
develop on
bad. Don't
TikTok,
do them.
you're probably aware of allegations of mistreatment that have surfaced from former garden members. They claimed that people at the garden are abusive, and obviously with multiple people coming forward alleging that it is abusive, that it has cult-like tendencies, let's say, we can safely assume that it isn't a safe space for anyone. So that's what I think about that, and that's why I think the whole thing kind of blew up in the first place. A lot of them started to troll, posting out things that they knew would be controversial to the audience that was watching.
And sometimes the visitors think that we are a cult. And we tell them, no, we are not a cult. We're just a little culty.
So it's kind of like a stoking of the flames by people that were there. And I do understand it in a sense, because obviously you've got people at the garden who think that the whole internet is against them, and that can kind of put your back against the wall and make you want to lash out at other people. So I do understand it on that level. But on a PR level, this whole thing has done nothing good for intentional communities. And I do believe that the actions of people from the garden have potentially harmed like the cause of intentional communities a little bit, not massively. But I think maybe among a lot younger people who haven't really had experience in intentional communities of communes, and this is the first thing they're seeing, I think a lot of people might be put off. But then we get into what happened after, and what happened after was just a whole nother level.
I think then it goes on to be about the backlash against them, but I don't care as much about that. So. How about the Siberian cult leader who thinks he's Jesus?
There is a place in Russia where people have discovered the secret of living in perfect harmony.
I missed your feet pics. Good.
A place where the children run free, where the earth provides everything you need, and where money is meaningless. Welcome to the Church of the Last Testament. This is Petropavlovka. a small settlement located deep within the taiga forest of Siberia.
Midsommar,
over 100
anyone?
miles away from the nearest
I
town.
still haven't seen that one.
It looks like a elf village at like a putt-putt course. About 20 years ago...
Wow, look at these buildings. This is honestly like a really cute community if it wasn't for the cult stuff. Like, this is cute. I could see someone shooting a movie here or something.
A handful of disciples came here to worship and live with Vissarion, or Viteacher as he is commonly known.
Oh god.
Today, Vissarion's Church of the Last Testament has over 5,000 followers from all around the world. About 2,000 live here and in the surrounding areas.
I need to watch Midsommar.
I came here in hopes of meeting the man himself, who hasn't
Russia
granted...
has the best cults. In Russia, there's a cult that worships Gadget Hack Wrench from Chippendale Rescue Rangers. That's definitely untrue. That is photoshopped. There's zero chance that's real. Jesus Christ.
an interview to the media in at least 3 years.
Okay, they do it as a joke. That makes sense. Princess Amelia says, it's as real as we want it to be, Hannah, and Logarth says the gadget cult is real and has been around for like 20 years. Well, they're doing it as a joke, so that's not real, is it?
Ты внемлите тому глазу, который не послан ныне Богом к вам, дабы спасти вас.
2 decades ago, that man was known as Sergei Antoilovich Torop, a 29-year-old patrol officer who suddenly had a revelation that his was the word of God.
Так вот и постигайте все великую таинство.
Conveniently, this realization happened right around the time the Soviet Union, a self-proclaimed nation of atheists, began to crumble and religion became an acceptable topic of discussion in Russia. He soon began writing the Last Testament, a 12-volume follow-up of sorts to the New Testament, which details the religion's major tenets and provides answers to some of life's most mundane questions.
Oh, I gotta check that out. What's the guy's name? No, that's... I imagine there's probably a lot of weird Christ-like people, or not Christ-like, people who claim to be Christ who... Maybe it is. Visual accounts of stories of 7 men around the world who claim to be the same... Okay, so no, this is about a variety of people. I'm gonna have to find it at some point, because I think that'd be interesting to read.
Such as, which brand of detergent you should use. Labeled a dangerous cult by some, it has been reported that Vissarion and his followers believe in aliens, think suicide is A-OK, and believe that the end of the world is imminent. There are rules here that I was warned about. No cussing, no tobacco, no alcohol, no meat. I believe it's all vegan. I gotta watch my mouth because I have a dirty mouth. And I like meat. I like drugs sometimes. There's none of that here, so it's gonna be good to dry up. I was invited here by one of the church's more recent converts, a 24-year-old woman named Tamriko, who worked as a lawyer in Moscow before moving here 3 months ago. She now works in the German House, a sort of guest house for the spiritually curious.
Why don't you give me a little history of how you got here?
When I first heard about the teacher, it was to me like this kind of thing that, wow, it's like this is the only source of all information, of all answers. And this is a real teacher of the truth about the world and so on. Sometimes you need answers, you need just answers. That somebody will explain you like everything. He will explain your life, what are you doing this, why you have some problems with your health, problems with your life, for what purpose actually you're living.
I see. And one of the things that a lot of people have said is like, oh, it's a cult, you know?
It's sad. People love answers and they hate ambiguity. And sometimes people are so desperate for answers that they'll accept any answer, even if it's a bad answer, than no answer at all. sucks.
How do you feel about that? It has a bad
Well, I don't
connotation.
think anything about this. Do you know
Yeah.
why? Because I think that if some people find that this person can help them and they want to pray to this person, why not?
Okay.
Yeah. Why not? It's very good.
Is there anything that you perhaps disagree with here with
Here?
the teaching, with teachings or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Disagreeing with Vissarion's teachings is rare, which became very apparent after meeting-
Ender92, thanks for subscribing for 12 months, says, our baby Angela Lansbury is 3 months old now. She's taken up community theater. I see a bright future for her. Keep up all the good work.
Anya, a patron of a local girls' school, a place where young ladies go to learn the discipline, as she put it.
Is part of the lesson plan set aside for a study of the teacher?
Девочки учатся общению, правильному общению между собой. Как правильно относиться девочки друг с другом, к мальчику, как правильно относиться нужно. И это главное в нашем образовании. Девочек учим тому, что мальчик – это творец. Он мастер, он должен построить дом, он должен иметь очень...
Mike Mac says this is basically North Korea and Midsommar mixed together. Yeah. Guys, don't respond to the trolls. And Daddy Sume, don't misgender people even if they're fucking trolls. Seriously? Come on.
Очень много разных мужских таких профессий. Поэтому обучение мальчиков и девочек у нас проходит раздельно.
So, do you ever have strong girls that maybe resist and they're not so with that line of thinking?
Именно когда так девушка себя проявляет,
If you are
как
in
лидер,
fact doing that. But, you know, the troll's the one that said that. So, who knows?
и подменяет собой мужчину, тогда получаются негармоничные накладки. Если она так не сделает, для нее это очень опасная ситуация. Она может заболеть как женщина, потому что гармония, не кто-то, а гармония ее накажет женскими болезнями.
Спасибо.
Спасибо вам большое. Приезжайте к нам еще.
What's this link? A right-wing watch thing? Yeah, this is where the Peter's church leader bought the property in Texas.
We've left God.
The troll had their pronouns listed as any. Gotcha. Okay, sorry then, Daddy Sume. Just wanted to make sure.
Become part of this licentious, decrepit, degraded moral culture.
Is this not on a tripod? Is this handheld? What is this?
You know, we have strayed from God's principles of defending liberty, of being accountable, having responsibility, and into a culture that seeks just pleasure and just emotion and good feeling and licentiousness and hedonism. That will bring a country to destruction, and God will allow it to be judged, just like he did with Israel.
You don't know if Daddy even said anything. Oh, I don't know either. The troll's probably just fucking with us. I just want to nip that kind of thing in the bud. If it ever does happen. Not to Daddy Sume specifically. I'm saying if anyone was accused of that, I would want to make sure.
И привозите нам своих детей сюда, дочек, на обучение.
You were fucking with the troll? Don't do that. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but I would recommend you don't fuck with the trolls who come into the chat. It's not worth your time. That's what they want. Don't do that shit.
Вот, девушку, чтобы она была очень хорошей тебе помощницей.
As tempting as brainwashing my girlfriend into misogynistic slavery sounded, I had mountains to climb and deities to meet. I had been invited to celebrate the holiday of good fruits at the Abode of Dawn, a small mountaintop community where Vissarion and his closest followers live. I stopped at the general store to get supplies for the hike.
So I have the luxury of, after a 40-hour trip, of eating a CCC pop. We just bought provisions for 2 days. This is kind of a treat before. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be eating this, to be honest. I don't know.
I mean, they're selling it in their local store, so it's probably fine, right? I was gonna say, it's ice cream. I thought you said they were vegan.
Vissarion stances on candy and ice pops, but it's hot, so.
I climbed into a Soviet-era bread loaf and began the bumpy drive up the hill.
We got a good crew just materialized here at the base of the mountain. Looks like we're about ready to go.
My hiking companions had traveled from Germany, Slovenia, Sweden, and beyond, all in hopes of catching even a glimpse of the elusive Vissarion. Along the way, I met Maciek, a university student from Poland.
And what did you come here seeking?
I came to see what it's all about. I was told that they share their wives. They told me that the people here will mess up my brain and that I might never come back.
We made it to what appeared to be a border crossing, and the attendant took down our details.
America, да?
Yes. Our guide, Nina, led me to the place where I'd be staying for the next 2 nights. The home of a lovely Russian family who immediately offered me cold vegetable soup and bread. Vissarion's serene gaze watched over us as we ate our blessed meal, spiritually charging us for the upcoming nighttime liturgy.
We're gonna go see what worship is like here. I feel like I'm kind of in a different world, to be honest.
The pre-holiday liturgy didn't seem too different from a Christian Mass, but I would come to find out that things weren't that simple here. Still, the followers had been very pleasant so far. Only a few seemed to have the crazy stare of a cult member. I ran into Maciek and asked him how he was settling in.
How have the accommodations been?
Well, the accommodations were very, very well. I met nice people, we had a nice conversation, and then they asked me when did I accept the teacher and his teachings, and I said, well, I'm not really a follower. And then there was like a minute of silence, second of silence. That felt uneasy, but they got over it.
Pyromancer says you couldn't pay me to visit any cult. Depends on the cult. One like this I would visit if I had other people with me and people knew where I was going, because I think they're probably benign and I don't think they're gonna hurt you or anything. But there are a lot of cults that I wouldn't want to be anywhere near, that's for sure. Peter's cult, for instance. No, too many guns. I'm good.
But I think they felt a little disappointed.
Okay. And are you, they have our passports. So you're visiting. Are you a little concerned about that?
I am. It's like, you know,
They took their passports. That's a cult move.
Yeah, still, I don't want to be insulted, but you come to the place which is far away from anywhere in the world. You come to people who are known to be members of a cult, of a religious group, of... of some sort, no. Let's put it like this. Okay. And then they take your passport away straight when you pass it. They are pretty persistent about that.
Yeah. Physically and spiritually exhausted from my long journey, I turned in for the night to rest up for the holiday of good fruits and our first glimpse of Vissarion.
И перед входом в эти чудесные врата помните о том, что вы входите в то пространство, которое мыслями своими, переживаниями и очень большими усилиями формировал учитель и те служители, которые
Today
is August 18th, which is the High Holy Day of the year.
The holiday of good fruits. The Church of the Last Testament's most important holiday. Basically, it's their Easter. It was on this day in 1990 when Vissarion first realized his divine connection to God and established his church. It's the reason that thousands of Vissarionites from around the world have gathered here today. We began our ritualistic procession up the mountain, a 5-hour journey replete with ceremonial washing.
That felt good.
Mood music, and supremely positive vibes. Looking back, I think it was supposed to serve as a sort of mental palate cleanser for what lay ahead.
Up the mountain we go. Part of the reason I wanted to come here, the world seems to be in a pretty bad way right now. This seems to be an idyllic community, so maybe Vissarion has some answers for us on how we could better live our lives. Or maybe he's just got it right and people should come here. They're actually pretty good musicians. Oh, wow.
Lily Love Stuff says, is Peter married? I know he's from a subset of Moonies, and they do arranged marriages pretty young. Like, my friend's parents were arranged married without having ever met each other, and her brother's wife, he was arranged married at 20, didn't even speak English when they were married. Yeah, Peter's married. According to Peter, like, his wife, his, at the time, future wife's father called and was like, are you interested in my daughter? And he was like, sure. And then they got married.
Beautiful. Found a little friend in this hole here, watching us. He looks very surprised, like us, wide-eyed. Stopping again for another hymnal. Something happened to me while I was walking up the mountain. Was I experiencing the initial stages of indoctrination? Everything looks so beautiful, and the people seem so happy. I began to wish that I could be more like them. Slava, another in a long line of guides/minders, didn't want me to miss the site where Vissarion literally left his mark on Mother Nature.
The teacher, when first time on this mountain, take your hands on this stone, and after we turn the stone, we see this letter, the first letter of his name, Jesus. In Russia, Ha, letter Ha. You may see it.
Yeah, we should see. Is it okay for me to touch?
Russian Ha. Christos. In English, Jesus.
Christos. It's there. While the rest of the followers gathered around the stage where Vissarion would soon give his sermon, Slava took us to visit the monastery for young boys. Trampoline. I'll jump.
That concerns me.
Andrei is the master of those boys.
Of all the boys. Why do you live here? Why did you come here?
Учитель, для меня учитель открыл тот мир, который я всегда чувствовал, к которому стремился, я так всегда хотел жить. И я увидел, что тот мир, о котором я мечтал, это не фантазия, это реальность, его здесь можно сделать. Сбываются мечты, я всегда мечтал жить на горе, чтобы рядом было прекрасное озеро и заниматься с ребятами, делиться ими умениями.
We sat down with 17-year-old Ivan, who, among other things, was learning the masculine professions.
С электрическим инструментом, бензоинструментом.
How long have you been living at the monastery?
2 years.
2 years. And how do you like it?
Очень.
What's your favorite thing to do during the day?
Быть полезным другим.
Are you planning on starting a family soon?
Ну да.
And do you have in mind a maybe a potential wife? No. Okay, that's it. We'll stop there. Спасибо.
Пожалуйста.
Beautiful. Wow, that's amazing. You can see they're clearing out this site over here, perhaps to build more housing. And their numbers are continually growing. I see why people stay, though. It's very beautiful. People who are interested in joining the community and living here, is there anything that one must do to become part of the community, or can you just come and live here?
Здесь нужно просто желание приехать и найти возможность своего участия по мере своего понимания, умения, полезности.
If I moved here, I'm an editor and a writer, so I'd have to learn Russian, but perhaps I could help with that.
You will be welcome.
Но профессия писателя тоже привлекательна, потому что мы стремимся создавать новые произведения, где отсутствует...
New works where negative characters don't exist. What a boring story that would be, with no antagonists, nothing to nothing to hinder the protagonist. They learn nothing. The hero's journey? More like, I'm a fucking hero and nothing can stop me. That's terrible.
A place where negative characters don't exist. That sounded pretty good to me. Clean energy, healthy living, virgin brides.
Ugh.
Started wondering if the abode of Don could be the place for me. I hurt myself. And then, finally, it was time for us to get our first glimpse of the teacher himself.
Yeah, I don't like this reporter very much either.
Descend from the stairs and address everyone here. And as you can see, everyone's eagerly anticipating it. I have no doubt in my mind that they believe he is God. And it's interesting and kind of scary to see so many people have so much faith in one man or God. We had traveled thousands of miles to the middle of nowhere in Siberia to see this man, Vissarion, address his congregation on what they call the holiday of good fruits. It was sort of spooky.
Is there a Patreon stream tomorrow? There is. We're doing our patron-only stream tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I might also do... Excuse me. I might also just do a stream for everyone that's normal. I don't know. I kind of want to... I'm very close to beating my record for best month on Twitch, let's say. So I kind of want to do that, but it just depends. But either way, there'll be a patron stream tomorrow. RDK142 says, Jesus, I can very easily wander out of the woods.
Sarion's making his way down. Very slowly. Very Christ-like. And just as Vissarion was about to share some infallible nuggets of wisdom, they made us turn off the camera.
Boo! That's why you always gotta bring a hidden camera to these sorts of things. A glasses cam or something.
After giving a
Didn't Baja say you and Jake were doing unboxing soon? Monday we're doing that, apparently. Sorry.
short sermon in hushed tones, Vissarion blessed bread made by the community for the ensuing feast, and bid his followers
rocking the socks
farewell.
and sandals.
So we just have finished the sermon with the teacher, and Nina's going to translate a little bit for us of what was said.
I remember exactly his first phrase. I'm glad that you still survive. Yes, it was everybody was laughing. Yeah, and then he spoke about that we all of us are pupils. And in the school of life.
We are all pupils in the school of life? I guess that's true, but I'm not sure it provided me with any answers. I'm going to see if we can interview some pilgrims, some people that came to see Vissarion from afar. What is your feelings about Vissarion?
Такой друг, настоящий друг, да, дает, чем я хочу жить.
Why did you make the journey here today?
Здесь мое место. Это, чтобы это понять, нужно это почувствовать. Поэтому словами это не скажешь.
How did you first hear about the teacher?
Впервые прочитал журнал «Сигун и спорт». Я почувствовал большую силу.
Yeah, that was the clit troll ban evading and trying to make Daddy Sume out to be a bad guy when he was just calling the troll out for fucking trolling, so.
Compared to years past, does he seem happy? Does he seem in good spirits?
Мне кажется, о нем вообще сложно сказать, применить к нему какие-то вот наши обычные настроения. Сколько с ним вот общаешься, ощущение, что он в каком-то своем состоянии пребывает. Он хоть и рядом, но он где-то далеко.
He feels far away because he doesn't give a shit about you. Daddy Sume, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community. I appreciate that.
After the liturgy, we ran into our Polish friend Maciek. How do you feel? I mean, do you feel that there's something about him that's beyond human?
I don't want to insult anybody, but I don't, no. I feel it's an interesting place and an interesting person, and I think these people around here want to live a good life. and I do appreciate that, but I don't perceive him as a divine.
After mingling with some members of the congregation, I headed to bed to rest up for the next day and my big interview with Vissarion.
There's a lot of stars.
I was talking with Slava about the beautiful and clear nighttime sky when he told me that stars weren't the only things up there.
Sometimes we see it.
You've seen UFOs?
I see one time.
What did it look like?
A big object, triangle, and in a corner, 3 spheres.
3 spheres. Yeah, okay.
Other people see
it,
too.
Yeah?
The next morning, we got up bright and early and took a secret path to Vissarion's home.
So we're finally here at the teacher's house, and going to interview a man that many people believe to be the Word of God.
I suddenly became very anxious about my meeting with the teacher. What if I actually had an audience with someone who is the Word and perhaps flesh of God?
Rocco.
Is that a message from the kitty?
Why did you agree to an interview with me? Because I know that you haven't for quite a bit.
Не знаю.
Are you regretting it now? Okay. I wanted to know about Russia. Was it a coincidence, or was it just happenstance that this community came to be around the same time as the fall of Soviet Union?
Нет, это не случайно. В этот период должна была появиться свобода вероисповедания. Иначе было бы сложно. Нужны были серьезные изменения в обществе, которые выбьют привычную основу из-под ног. Нужно, чтобы к этому времени человек испытал жажду в поиске духовных истин.
I think I understood what he was saying, but I was struggling with how to tactfully ask someone who looks like Jesus if he's the Son of God without coming out and saying it.
You're very Christ-like in your appearance. I'll say it this way. Do you have memories of Christ from 2,000 years ago?
That's such a shittier... I hate this reporter. That's such a shittier way of asking. Just be outright. Do you think you're the Son of God? That's the question. You're in an interview with him.
Do you carry on in that way, in that lineage?
Что есть память чувственная и есть память сознания. Сохранять тело с характерным сознанием нет смысла, потому что это характерное формируется благоприятно для сознания своего времени, когда нужно в каком-то теле появиться на Земле. А так как появление на Земле не требуется делать очень часто, а будут большие интервалы.
That's probably as close to a yes as I was going to get.
It seems like the world is, there's lots of riots, there's uprisings. Is the turmoil and conflict in the world right now worse than you've experienced?
Сейчас можно будет смело сказать, что 80% населения Земли имеют серьезное психическое отклонение. Но эти люди имеют оружие на руках, а это растет дальше. Поэтому там, где слабее, там начнет быстрее все взрываться психологически.
Was Vissarion talking about Armageddon? Naturally, I was curious as to when that might happen.
Is that coming soon?
Смотря по каким меркам. Хотелось бы, чтобы быстрее закончилась та дикость, которая так сильно проявляется.
Talk about dancing around the subject.
Yeah, well, you're the reporter. It's your job to continue to ask follow-up questions. Come on.
Switched gears, and remembering Slava's extraterrestrial encounter, asked him about the church's stance on what they call the outer space mind.
Внеземной мир не имеет духовной ткани. Поэтому научно-технический прогресс для них – это естественная форма развития. Пик развития человеческой цивилизации и момент судьбоносного выбора перед человеком должен был совпасть с моментом изменения геофизической всей структуры Земли.
I have to admit, Vissarion lost me somewhere in between the end times and soulless aliens. Still, I could see how his followers could really get into this stuff. It's a hell of a lot more interesting than Adam and Eve and the crucifixion. The teacher's handlers signaled that it was time to wrap up, but I was determined to slip in a few simple questions that, with any luck, would be answered in a straightforward manner.
How about food? What's your favorite dish to eat? Or
Нет, сложно так будет что-то такое рассказать понятное. Немножко по-другому у меня воспринимается все.
A man without penchant, which apparently extended to answering questions in a fashion that I could understand. But this was my last shot. At the very least, maybe I could glean something about the purity of my own being.
just meeting me briefly, can you tell me anything about my soul?
Так нельзя говорить, характеристики какие-то, их нельзя назвать. Я могу чувствовать человека, но что в этом случае хочется услышать?
So last question. If you could tell one piece of advice that our viewers here could follow relatively easily, what would it be?
Не стремиться быть первым.
Oh, the irony! The supreme painful irony! Bro, you literally have people in this town put pictures of you up on the wall like you're the leader in North Korea. What? Suck a dick, you piece of shit. Fuck this guy.
Среди тех, с кем живешь. Это стремление, которое ведет к гибели.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I was supposed to or not, but there was no way I was leaving without a photo, so I hopped right in there.
So, we finished our journey here. Going back to New York City and pollution and terrible people.
In other words, all the things that I find weirdly comforting. What can I say? I'm a man of modern convenience. But if it ever gets too much for me, if the scum of humanity becomes so sticky and viscous that I can't scrub it off, I know there's a place where I can drop out and be at peace. And the next time someone complains to me that everything sucks, or our problems are unsolvable, I'll just tell them, there's this place you can go in Siberia where they'll accept you with open arms. A place where the children run free, where the earth provides everything you need.
I hate this reporter. What a garbage reporter. I hate him. Does he still work for Vice? Because that piece was from 2012. I'm tired. That's probably good for the night. Kirthan says, can we raid Norman Bello when we're done? My fiance is playing D&D in their stream tonight. Yeah, sure, why not? Bardlock Moses says, oh no, he's actually a recruiter now. Lily Love Stuff says, have you heard of the conspiracy theory that Vice is a cover for the CIA? No, I haven't heard that. Okay, like I said, oops, that's not what I wanted. Like I said, patron only stream tomorrow. I'll put links to, patron people's stuff in their boxes, in their inboxes, and in the feed for Patreon, so keep a lookout for that. What else? I think that's it. So thanks, everyone. Maybe we'll do another stream tomorrow other than just the patron one. I'm not sure. But either way, I'll be back soon with more content. So thanks, everyone. I've said that a lot. I'm just running down the clock now. I'm hungry. Alright, adios. See you later.